Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Upgrade your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours. Hey, we're racing. It's Antonio. Here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. One director 97. And he should have been 40. He should have been 40. Director 97. $100. Team wanting all the money.
Oh my God, Director!
And it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home! You're 6'5", 4! Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton making this filling the fire moving as well. Filling the fire. How dare you throw that down? Does Coin have enough space to get home? Or will Gabby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack picks out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Does anybody? The contest. Here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Bristol from the back. Bristol. The family wants his action.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, we'll get produced, play the juice, let loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a legal weapon, cause we be, oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 19th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We had a solid day yesterday, 4-1 in MLB, plus 3.08 units. Climbing towards the black. We should hit that destination by Friday if all continues going as planned. Now, The Panthers were the second best team clearly on the ice last night. And I still got the game one Panthers in series hanging at plus 135. I think it's time to move on the Oilers to win the series. For me, I've got the futures on both. 9-1 on the Oilers before the year started, and 10-1 with all of you guys. And I think January, once we knew that Montour and Ekblad were healthy. I mean, for Panthers backers, got to be uncomfortable. And I make $400 more if the Panthers win. So I'm thinking very closely of moving on the Oilers to win the series at plus 275 or 300, depending on where you're shopping. And the first period under in game 6. Those sticks are going to be tight. But the Oilers have shown a ton of heart. And McDavid is so far and away the best player on the ice. The Bobrovsky-Conn Smythe, I don't think it's taken by Barkov. I mean, if McDavid scores 2 goals in game 6 and the Panthers win 3-2, let's say, in overtime, I don't know how you don't give the Conn Smythe to McDavid. And I remember watching when Ron Hextall won the Conn Smythe when the Oilers won the Stanley Cup and being not shocked, but surprised. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to do. We got a great show for you guys today. Now, I have COVID. That's why so it all started last week, when I missed the Thursday. So I'm just dealing with that, but I'm going to work through it and plow through it. But I'm probably, going to be a little on edge and they'll be coughing and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to keep that shit to a minimum, but it sucks. It sucks that it's going through that. But look, we're making money. We've been making money pretty much daily for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and we must continue to do so. And that's more important than health. So let's go out there and get that cash. We got a great show. Sharpie joining us for game 2. I've moved on the game that pops off in an hour and 15 minutes. I've moved on 2 bets, although there's like 3 or 4 that I find extremely interesting. So that's the situation. Let's do work together and attack. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. A Redbeard CLC in the house. Redbeard, minus 1.5 for the Giants and the Marlins first 5 for Redbeard. Let's copy and paste all this action before we get into game 1. So Daby Cab also has got a best bet in that Phillies Padres game. I thought the card was capped really, really well yesterday. And a lot of it is you come in with your own game plan, but you also listen. We've got great cappers in the chat and great information coming from people in the chat and from cappers on screen. And I'm listening. I don't know what to do with Gaussman here today. I love backing him on the road. I don't know what to do with him at home. I know I have colleagues like Mikey Money that think he's a gas can, and he sure showed that at home, and Mikey's made a lot of money fading him. Well, I've made a lot of money backing him, but I haven't been backing him at home. I took to heart, what TJ said about Griffin Canning. I didn't move on the Angels yesterday, and Griffin Canning got touched. I mean, we don't have all of the answers, but as a group, we have a lot of answers. And so listening helped very much for me. So for me yesterday, 4-1 plus 3.08 units. I'm now over 500, but down 5.48 units. Average line to minus 103. I mean, if your average line is minus 110 and you're 159 and 158, you're probably down 13 units or so. So it's good to keep the VIG down as much as possible. But yesterday, Boston, Toronto, first 5 under 4 cashed. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh under 8.5 cashed. Twins minus 1 pushed. Rockies first 3 and first 5 plus a half each. Cash. Jose had a great day fading Walker Buehler as well. And that's the best information that my dad has brought to us. He says, I watch this team every day, and I can tell you one thing: you fade Walker Buehler every start. And that worked. That worked very well. And I'm not sure how long he'll be in the rotation for. What a comeback by the Dodgers. I don't know if any of you guys got in live. I didn't, and much to my chagrin. So I was 4-0 until the KC Oakland first 5 under 4. There was a lot of cappers on Kansas City, and even Hunter Engelhart, who thought it might be, truly thought it might be a trap. He still moved on it. And the markets tell a story. Sometimes we don't want to listen. Yesterday, the Orioles were put at a number that obviously captivated the minds of many cappers here in our chat, and they moved on it. But they're not hitting lefties. And for today, the Astros aren't hitting lefties. We have vividness bias of some of these teams smashing lefties, and the fact is they're just not really doing it right now. The Orioles are best in the league against righties, but they're not really hitting lefties, but everyone sees them as a dog price, and the books know they're going to get all the money. So, fascinating stuff. Daby Cab, best bet. Sharpie, best bet. We got Jose Bouquet coming off another winning day. We're both getting closer to the black. And I've been in situations like this in MLB when you start getting closer to the black, and then you let your guard down because you're like, oh, I'm being black over the season. I'm gonna show everyone. You let your guard down. Guard's got to be up. We got to be, we got to get out the machete and take a Greyhound bus ride. There's been years where I've gotten all the way to the black and then slipped up and dropped a quick 8-9 units. That can't happen here. Jose and I got to find the black. We got to get that money. It's going to be a long, horrible summer if we don't do that. And I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I can't handle the sleepless nights. I can't handle sitting here with the weight of the analytics ruining everyday life for me. We have to keep winning, all of us as a group. Shout out to everybody joining us. And yes, rest in peace to Willie Mays. Jose's shows say, hey, plays of the day. I mean, Willie Mays is the best baseball player in the history of the game. I mean, that's arguable, but I think that's who he is. I think that's Willie Mays. I think he's the best player in the history of the game. And rest in peace. 93 years old. What a great life he lived. What a great life he lived. Those stories of him in Harlem are the best, the funnest stories. Playing stickball outside on the street, trying to get out of the slumps that he's in, and everybody looking after him in these very sweet spots in Harlem. So rest in peace to Willie Mays and respect to the Willie Mays family. Spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet dog play today is the Seattle Mariners at plus 127. We have Wu back. We have Garrett Cole back. This is an absolutely fascinating card. I felt the same way with yesterday's card, and at least that's happening. At least you see that you start capping. You spend hours capping the card, and you're like, this is really fun. There's so many moving parts. There's so many exciting angles here, and we've got that today. Jay Smooth Balls play today is the KC team total over 4.5, Mets team total over 4.5. Both the team totals come out to a plus 357 spot for Smooth Balls play of the day. Rant says Boston plus money looks nice. Yeah, I imagine it would. I don't know how you trust I won't call Jose's close personal friend Brian Bayo, and then I don't know how you trust Gaussman at home. I would like to cap my way into backing Gaussman. I don't know if that's possible. Bo Jackson in the house. Ron Walsek, Yanks, Orioles over 8. Yanks, Orioles over 8. Sons of Beaches play of the day from our Ron Walsek. That is the first Sons of Beaches play of the day from our guy, Ronnie Walsek. Copied and pasted. Ron, thank you for sharing that with us. Professor Chris, ready to get to work. Wine Time Sports Series Business. Jarek White, Jay Peasy, Florida money line. The NCAA game starts now. Look to live betting over if by chance we get out of an inning one scoreless. That's from Jay Peasy. Stacks play of the day, Royce Lewis, and that is now 9 straight winners for Stacks. 9 straight winners for our guy Justin McKelvey, running real nice. We got Swiggy ready to get to work. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, Beavis Rogers ready to eat. Steve Fehrenbach in the house. How about the end of that Dodgers game? Absolutely wild. Steve G, Oilers. Yeah, why? Edmonton was just the better team, clearly, on the ice last night. And McDavid was by far and away the best player. Who's going to stop that from happening? Is Matthew Tkachuk? Is Alexander Barkov? Who? Do you see Zito? You see Zito after they lost there? Smash his water bottle against the wall. They're nervous. And we've never seen this in a Stanley Cup final. Up 3-0 and this mounting comeback. At least in the 45 years or 44 years I've been alive. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Rocco Rogers in the house says biggest live money line of all my sports betting last night. Dodged at plus 1,400. Got it when it was 7-2. Should have waited when it was 8-3 because it was plus 3,000. Wow. Troy Torrance in the house. And Slatsy says, I agree. Bet McDavid Conn Smythe at plus 275. I don't see Barkov taking it now. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I could add a small bet on McDavid Conn Smythe and a small bet on, or just like a unit bet, the same unit bet that I have on the Panthers Game 1 series, just have a unit bet on the Oilers to win the series. McDavid was phenomenal. And to do it now this deep into the playoffs, we're very lucky, very, very fortunate. And, shout out to Evan Bouchard and passing Paul Coffey. Only a couple of defensemen ahead of him now, Brian Leetch being one of them for most points ever by a defenseman in the playoffs. And Leetch did it, in the Stanley Cup Finals against my Knuckleheads in 94. I'll never forget that. There's Kong's Clips in the house, going to cash his. That is also 2,200 to 1. Unbelievable Kong's Clips. Unbelievable. Still going to get 100 to 1. Let's think that through and talk it through, Kong, all the way. Maybe we should put a group together on Twitter because you might not. Maybe you don't want to cash out all of it too. Bo Jackson says, "Are the Oilers really going to come back?" I mean, they certainly look like they are. JPZ says, "Great job fading Walker Buehler yesterday." I thought the same thing about you, JPZ, sticking with the Dodgers on the run line. I can't believe you got all that cash back. Unbelievable. Troy Torrance, Cubs, first 5 in full game, Reds money line, Cardinals double up, Cardinals and Phillies, Cardinals Twins and first 5 under in Atlanta. Important information for us here that I will copy and paste. Ron Crawford on the Swiss in the Euros. I presume Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today, going for 6 in a row. Look at our plays of the day. Look what's going on in our chat right now. It is paying mortgages. Billy Friedrich, a Pig Milk play of the day. Detroit, Atlanta, first 5 under 3.5 minus 108, going for 6 in a row. So it's the second day in a row here that I have the exact same bet as a Pig Milk play today, and we cashed it with a plum yesterday. So I love to hear that you're on it. That bet, Billy, I've already bet it. It's one of my 2 bets going into today. One thing I need to start recognizing a little bit, it happened to me Friday with the Luis Castillo start in the Mariners-Rangers game. The full game under was 7.5. And the first 5 under was 4.5. Very, very juiced. That didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Even with the 7.5 being juiced to the under, it didn't make sense. You would think that would be a first 5 under 4 heavily juiced. And there were 4 runs scored in the first inning. There's only 1 more run scored in the game. When that first 5 looks too good to be true, it is. And I've got to start recognizing that. It's been hurting me so far this year, and I've got to trust that. I've got to go full game. Just stick with the full game. That's what the books are pushing us towards. They're opening up their arms to first 5 unders with these star pitchers, but they're not in the full game. I just wanted to say that out loud so that I can be consciously aware of that. Troy Torrance says he will be at the Cubs game today. Never been to a Cubs home game where they lost. Troy putting down that for us. Ooh wee. Okay, that's copy and pasted, Troy. Thank you guys. The COVID's not a big deal anymore. It just sucks. I just got a cough, like a lungy cough, and it just sucks. Been sitting here for a week and a half with it. It just sucks. That's all. I'm fine. And I'm just not going to do anything but cap. I'm just going to sit alone and cap. Let's just cap. Gerardo Hernandez in the house. Bruce Cotney. Wine Time Sports. Gerardo Hernandez, Germany minus 1.5. Joseph Gomez, TJ. Said the swing called a check for Teoscar was a joke. BT Ski Profit in the house as Westgate was going crazy for the Oilers last goal and the late a homer in the Dodgers game. I imagine, yeah. I imagine they're going wild for the Dodgers game. That's just what a comeback for the Dodgers. And that Rockies bullpen right now that Rockies bullpen right now, 8.12 ERA, 1.84 WHIP since May 15th. That's over a month of sample size. I mean, that is horrific. Steve G says that Rockies fade train plus 32.5 units, White Sox fade train plus 9 units. You know, a couple things I've been noticing lately, because we talk about all the live betting that we've been doing, is that the White Sox bullpen has been kind of keeping their shit together. I was staring at the Astros live all day, and I was like, you know what? They're pitching a little better. Now it's the Rockies bullpen that should have been attacked while I was so focused on whether or not to attack the White Sox bullpen. Truth teller in the house, Steve Fehrenbach, Jay Peasy, Joseph Gomez. Great to see all of you guys. TJ had Colorado first 5 in full game, so he was pissed. Yeah, you had every right to be pissed. Every right. I was just first 3 and first 5. But you had every right to be upset. All right, it is great to see all of you guys. It is time to get to work. So Brahma B, Sean Pulliam ready to get to work. My dude, top set has Braves team total under 4.5 to kick off his card. You know, we were also another thing that I just want to get out there is we were talking. I've been talking so much about how wonderful the Braves have been for the under, but look at the Reds. The Reds cashed my under yesterday, but I started going through their game by game over the last month, and they're a Noli knows perfect baseball team. So let's keep an eye on Reds unders. Their bullpen is pitching very, very well as well. Von Polo in the house. Jake Burns says Panthers broke my heart for sure. You know, I can't wait. So Gokster will be with us. It'll be our last show with Gokster tomorrow, and we will cap Game 6. And I haven't bet those Oilers bets yet. I'm just reeling from what I watched. Still reeling from it. And I look forward to figuring it all out and getting paid. And we're set up to get paid. There's no way we won't get paid. The 9-1 and the 10-1, just like 2 years ago. So it's just about, we don't want to compound losses, and we want to take advantage of what we're seeing. So we'll talk all about that. Chosen One has his action in Tigers money line, Pirates money line, Pirates red under 8, and Phillies first 5 -1/2. Let's get that here copied and pasted. We got Markel in the house, Gary Tenebra, Joe Thompson, Stare and Co. Great to see all you guys. Dominique Diaz, anonymous user, Winners Circle, Mr. Heat, Lamont Williams. Great to see all you guys. So let's do exactly that. TJ says cash money on Atlanta. I'm about to move on them. There's Lee Davis rolling with us, Cameron Sinnott, Mike Wilkerson, Saturated. Great to see all you guys. So let's get ourselves to work right now. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, the star of MLB programming here on Pub Sports Radio. San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, best bar in Texas. And of course, Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquet, to the program. Jose, how are you?
Doing all right, Jimmy. Can't complain. That Padres game was exceedingly annoying yesterday, but we ended up having a winning day, so can't complain, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so nice to see you alive.
Yeah, it is. You know, who cares? Let's not. It's not a big deal. It just sucks. It's just gonna make me a little bit on edge, a little upset, a little angry.
So that's what we need, though. That's the edge we need. Apparently, the pigeon shits. We need all that. So
yes, and we are both on our way to the black. It looked real bad there. We have to keep winning. We have to keep winning. Anonymous user says, shout out to whoever said Walker Buehler won't be on this roster soon. He's done. That was me from my father's insights. So shout out to Pops in Vegas right now. And
yeah, good job there, Dad.
Yeah, he's reading the Walker Buehler opportunities very well. Let's get to work, Jose. I've moved on this first game. It pops off in 59 short minutes, 12:20 p.m. Eastern. We have the Detroit Tigers 34-39, 18-20 on the road at the Atlanta Braves 40-31, 23-13 at home. Good luck to you, Ski Profit, my friend. And there's Nate Dogg 420 rolling with us as well. Great to see you, Nate Dogg 420. Bet you're happy. Yeah, I knew you would say about those Oilers. But you're happy with this show of heart and character. And look at that. The Detroit Pistons fired Monty Williams. So how much money do they eat?
I think it was like $94 million.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a great gig. Shout out to Monty.
Oh, my God.
Shout out to Monty.
How? I mean.
I respect them for making that decision. I respect them for making that decision. I don't think I would have done it.
$65 million buyout.
Ooh. Yeah, I would have I wouldn't have done that, but shout out to them. NBA is getting those new rights deals, so they're gonna get a bunch of money here soon.
That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, wow, I'm just shock and awe. Okay, we have Tigers, Braves here. Treek Screwball versus Ronaldo Lopez. What a call you had on Ronaldo Lopez this year. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just, I'm sort of waiting for him to show the form that cost me so much money over the years. And it doesn't seem to be happening. Screwball coming off that 4-0 loss at the Astros. One of the great things that we've done over the few years now, it's mixed with some bad things, but one of the great things we've done is trusted the brass of these teams that stick with their young pitchers. We use that with Brandon Pfaadt. We use that, with Hunter Brown, and Hunter Brown now has back-to-back starts that have been spectacular, and I think he'll do it again today. I'm on that first 5 under 4. I bet it last night at minus 115. Here I bet the first 5 under 3.5 minus 105. I didn't get the 4. It was available for a very short period of time. Troy says database heavy on the under. It actually supports the Tigers money line bet, but my cap says the Braves. So let's get into this one. Let's get everything up in Adam here. Get the weather. So here we go. This is a fun one to get the day started off. 82 Fahrenheit, 13.4 miles per hour in, blowing very hard in, but it is hot in Hotlanta. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Ronaldo Lopez and the Braves at minus 131. No, it just moved. Sorry, just moved to minus 129, but still that's 7 cents of movement from the opening line, minus 122 to minus 129. From a total side of things here, we have a 7.5 at minus 119. This has been going from, it's up to you. You can get an over 7 heavily juiced or an under 7.5 heavily juiced. It depends how you want to bet it. But I've only moved on the first 5, and that's what I would like to see right now, what that is at here. So that's the under 3.5 is at minus 112. There was buyback. There was heavy buyback. As soon as I bet it almost, it went from minus 112 all the way down to minus 103. Now it's back at minus 112. It makes me a little nervous. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and see if that will support the plan of that first 5 under. You have 60% of tickets and 65% of cash on the under. Whoa. That just moved heavily. Whew. Did that ever move heavily? Wow. We just had a huge move with tickets and cash on the over. That's one of the biggest moves I've ever seen. It just changed in front of my eyes. Now we have 65% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 88% of tickets and 84% cash on the Braves. A very slight move towards the Braves. Troy Torrance says Tigers lineup overrated due to outlier single game performances. Let's pull up that lineup right now and take a look at what we are dealing with here for game 1. Let me get this off and let me refresh this and have this up. While that's coming up, we'll set up the pitchers. Treek Screwball, 8-2, 2.20 ERA, 0.91 whip. He's been excellent this year. 98 Ks in 86 innings, only allowing 6 jacks in those 86 innings. And he got touched 4-0 at the Astros for those 4 runs. And the Astros are not hitting lefties hard. So it wasn't a very good performance by him. He's been very strong on the road. 2.40 ERA, 211 opponents batting average, 47 strikeouts and 41 in the 3rd innings. He's been very solid, but he's not coming off a great start. Does that mean he's got one ready for us here? Ronaldo Lopez has been excellent this year. Coming off a 6-3 win at the Orioles, he shut down the Orioles. As a right-handed pitcher, that's very difficult. 6 innings, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 walk. And at home, I mean, it's no question he's been the best Braves pitcher this year. And look what he's done at home. 2-0, 1.26 ERA, 190 opponents batting average. The Tigers aren't hitting righties, 235, 691 OPS. And the Braves aren't hitting lefties, 242, 667 OPS. The Tigers bullpen has been unlucky. Their ERA's inflated for some unlucky, balls in play, BABIP and things of that nature. But they're still not good. The Braves bullpen has been quite good. 3.39 ERA, 1.24 whip. This is the lineup. You have Perez at shortstop for the Tigers. You have Colt Keith, Riley Green, Mark Kenya batting 4th. I mean, that's just a sign of how weak this offense is. I mean, imagine Gio Urshela batting 5th, McKinstry 6th, Ibanez 7th, Badu 8th, Jake Rogers 9th. That is a really weak lineup. in my estimation. And then you have Atlanta with Klenek, Albies, Ozuna. Imagine if Ozuna wasn't ripping the leather off the ball. Matt Olson, Riley, Duvall, Murphy, Arcia, Laureano. Laureano used PEDs to see if he could hit at a level that would give him a job in Major League Baseball. This has become a weak Braves lineup. I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable here with the first 5 under 3.5, but I don't feel confident in it. Nothing here really. I mean, it's a low total, but reading out the lineups, Jose, has made me the most confident. I'll say that. Take it away. Floor is yours, my friend. Game 1 on the board. Tigers, Braves.
No, I agree with you guys. I'm on the unders. I'm going to be on the unders with you guys. First 5 full game for me. I looked at the bullpens as well just to see like how tired these guys are, and it's pretty average, I guess, pretty standard. Iglesias threw yesterday about 12 pitches, and I need to go back to that page real quick. But I expect him to be available. The Braves bullpen is a little more concerning than the other side. We've got Pierce Johnson through 20, but I think everyone should be available besides Joe Jimenez, depending where you're from. He threw 13 and 14 back-to-back, so I think he'll be down. Tigers bullpen is rested. The only guy that I truly want out there is Andrew Chafin, and he threw 10 pitches yesterday, so he should be good. I like the unders here as well. I'll join you. First 5 under 3.5 minus 110, and full game under 7.5 minus 112.
First 5 under 3.5 at minus 110, and full game under 7.5 at minus 112. Give the cartel thing. Screwball will bounce back. I think this is sort of what happened. Let me just see if I can time this right with the first half movement to the over. I think sharp money and sharp action was moving this to the over after all of the early action on the under, and then the lineups came out, and then it came right back to where it was before that sharp action started moving it towards the over. These are extremely weak lineups for these two ball clubs,
and the Braves are obviously one of the better under teams in baseball. Shout out to you, Nate Dogg, for the gifted Pub Sports Radio membership, my guy. Appreciate that. Braves have been one of the best under teams in baseball, and the Tigers suck at offense. So I agree.
Shout out to Nate Dogg. You're the man. Thank you for your support. Our friend Nate Dogg gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership to bless our action here. It's Troy Torrance giving me confidence here by, there's nothing wrong with the weather becoming perfect and you have to sit in the darkened cap for 2 weeks.
Sure.
So, this isn't a bad thing. I mean, it sucks timing wise, but let's just get that cash. I'm only going to move on the first 5 under 3.5. I'm trying very hard not to double up as hard as I possibly can. There's our guy Sabino and Guano in the house. I'm trying so hard not to double up, and that is a comfortable thing. So I want to be forced to double up, and I'm totally fine if that is the case. Forced to double up. All right, let's roll here. Next up for us, we bring on a monster off the bench right now. A pitching prop master. He's been excellent on our show. Despite missing with his last bet live, still 5-2, 71.4%. He has been excellent here with us. Please welcome star of the Odds Bunch YouTube channel, our friend Sharpie in the house. Sharpie, how are you?
Hey man, how are you, bro? And just to throw on to your Atlanta not hitting lefties, they've only seen one lefty I'd bet on, and they're still not hitting lefties. Like Mackenzie Gore's the only lefty they've seen in the last month, so they really ain't hitting lefties over there.
They need to do something. They need to do something. Anthopoulos got to get to work.
Now, one thing though to throw into though is Scoople's never been a 2.5 on his earned runs. He is today. Super juice to the under. But he's been a 1.5 all fucking year. So that just tells me he's gives up 2. Okay. And I mean, I still think Scooble dominates. I can't believe they're going to lead off Kellenic versus him. All right. But talk on Green and Keller.
Wow. That's it's great stuff. You know, I had a problem with this next game because I wanted to back Mitch Keller. And I just sort of was unable.
Does this help you?
Well, it helps me in other ways.
Okay.
Hunter Green, 5-2, 3.61 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 89 Ks over 82 and a third, 37 walks, 8 home runs. His last start was at the Brewers. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 5 walks, 6-5 win. Brewers have been hitting well. Hunter Green's been excellent on the road this year. 37 Ks and 35 and a third, 163 opponent's batting average, undefeated, 3-0 with 3.06 ERA. Look, I know I've got Mitch Keller's numbers here at home. I something was keeping me from backing him first 5, and maybe it was the disappointment in that last start. Now, it was at St. Louis. He allowed 2 jacks, 4 earned runs in 6 innings. He's been very good at home. 37 Ks and 38 and 2/3, 236 opponents batting average, 2.79 ERA. The Reds are hitting 230, 691 OPS versus righties. Sean Pulliam on the Nerfy here. That's since May 15th. Of course, all these stats are since May 15th. And the Pirates, 243, 673 OPS. So neither team's hitting righties with any power whatsoever. And then the Reds bullpen has been excellent. Keep an eye on it. 2.50 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. And the Pirates bullpen, 4.69 ERA, 1.3 WHIP have struggled. So let's discuss this spot. First off, it's sticky and hot in a pitcher's ballpark. 89 is the temperature. It feels like 94. It's going to feel like 97 within an hour. It's blowing in slightly. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow before we hear from Sharpie to get us rolling. First off, on the first 5, this opened up at 4 and it moved to 4.5. You know, it wasn't a real 4.5. It was pretty heavily juiced to the under, but I wasn't sure exactly where this line was going to go when I went to sleep last night. And it came back to the 4, juiced heavy to the over at 816 this morning. And then it just kept moving towards the under. The under got to a minus 105. And then there was some buyback on the over. And now the under is being bet. So now we have 10 cents of movement on that first 5 under. But it took a little while to get there. On the total here, and there's no need except if you're afraid of the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen would be the only reason why you would want the first 5 instead of the full game. And then look at this total. For the full game, it went from 7.5 to 8 to 8.5. It was up a full run and then back to 8 and 7.5. We've had 8 cents of movement on this full game under, and yet this went up a full run at one point. That stuff is confounding and makes me extremely uncomfortable. Let's get to the money line. Mitch Keller sitting at minus 130, opened up at minus 110. Just a huge, huge move to Mitch Keller. And there hadn't been. There was no move last night to Mitch Keller. There was no move this morning. When did this move start? This move started at 9:06 a.m. From 9:06 a.m. to 10:13 a.m., there was this massive move to Mitch Keller. If that move had happened last night, I would probably be on them already. When we get to the cash flow, 71% of tickets and 93% of the cash are on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And on the total, 68% of tickets and 71% cash is on the under. Maybe this market movement is just confusing me and throwing me for a loop that maybe you guys can help me get back on a legitimate trajectory to get paid here. So take it away, Sharpie. Reds, Pirates, Green, Keller.
I mean, I don't got much to say about Keller because, Keller's a guy that it's just, he's one of those dudes that's just tough for me. So I just end up staying away from him. And I'm not a fan of him. But the dude has come around ever since he did freaking learn that little 2-seamer. But yeah, I'm here to talk Green, guys. And Green gets the Pittsburgh Pirates, who, like I always say, let's go look at their numbers over the last 15 days versus righties. They're not walking 6.5%, striking out damn near 27% with a middle of the pack isolated power. And like always, I'm going to say, who have you seen in that time span? Well, you've seen Sonny Gray, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. Joe Ryan, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. And Tyler Glasnow, who also went 7 innings, gave up 1 earned run and 9 strikeouts. I think those numbers are actually a little worse because when you see dogs, they get dogged is what I'm getting at, guys. So I'm going to go check out past history. As we know, freaking Green's seen this team quite a few times already. And there's only 4 guys in this lineup who has seen Green 8 at bats or more, as I do not care about 5, as that's a good game or a bad game for the batter or the pitcher. And in the 4 that has seen him, 2 of them don't strike out to Green. And McCutchen and Talese, guys, who in their 19 combined at bats have only struck out 3 times. Reynolds has struck out at a 25% clip, while Hayes has struck out 50% of his 8 at bats. So I always do my lineups, guys, as I go pitch by pitch from each player and look at their whiff percentage to that pitch. So as Green, guys, it's easy, as he's pretty much fastball slider to right-handed batters, and then he throws in the splitter to lefties. And on whiff alone, guys, I got Green for 7 on a bad day. Yet it shows in the whiff, guys, that McCutchen and Talese can be had. But the past history says no, guys. So I go check the chase contact, and both McCutchen and Talese are terrible at making contact if they chase. And that's the issue, guys, is they just don't fucking chase, as McCutchen may be the best in the league at not chasing at just 17% of his at-bats, while Talese is 3% better than league average at chasing at 25% of the time. So I go run the lineup, guys, with the whiff and heavy attention on the chase. And we only got 3 guys who don't chase. And I get to a 6.5 on a bad day with 3 guys not striking out. And if we pay attention to the chase, guys, which it shows we should, and the whiff guys line up as well, this to me says if he stays in the zone, guys, he can have 10. If this guy's a little wild today, he's still going to end up on 7, guys. And at plus money, right now it's plus 105 on DraftKings. I got plus 115 when the lineups come out. I'll take 105 for the show. I don't give a damn. As like always, I'll say, I want to win. I don't really care about the juice I get, because I'll bet it even if the juice comes. Now, the question too is that 6.5 a trap? Why are we getting plus money to a team striking out 27% of the time? Well, Hunter Green's only hit that over 6.5 2 out of his last 10 games, guys, averaging 5.9 strikeouts a game. But the books don't look at who you fucking play. They just look at who your numbers are, guys. And if you go through his last 10 games, guys, he had a back-to-back with the Cubs, a back-to-back with the freaking Dodgers, a back-to-back with the Diamondbacks, and then a game versus the Brewers, who are the most patient team in baseball, where he walked 5 of them. We got a team walking 6.5%, guys. They're not looking to walk. Most of these guys chase. 6 of them do. Almost all of them whiff at his pitches. Hunter Green to the over 6.5 at plus money is what I'm on today.
It's a great breakdown. It makes sense. This sounds like you're really able to abuse the analysis that everybody has. This feels like you have found an edge. That
I had to. I was like, why is he not striking out McCutchen and freaking Talese when it says, if you look at the whiff and stuff at what he throws, it says they should be going down because they don't chase. Okay, well, look at the Pirates who don't chase. McCutchen, Talese, and Grandal all spread out through the lineup, 1 through 9. It's not like you got them all up front where it should be tough. So, and if somehow he stays in the zone, he can actually get McCutchen and them. So he's just not a guy who's a zone thrower. He can be wild. We know Green.
Hunter Green over 6.5 Ks, a plus 105. I'm going to line chop, see what it is at Pinnacle. Jose Bouquet, take it away. More afternoon action for us. Both games we're able to live bet as well. Take it away.
I struggle with Pirates Reds games, honestly, so I'll make this short. I stayed off. I thought it was pretty surprising to see Mitch Keller at such a kind of a heavy favorite price here. So I leaned Reds, but no action really.
Plus 106 is the best we can get him at Heritage. Plus 101 over at Pinnacle. Wow. Okay. This is a very interesting way of handling it. It kind of slices through all the things that I was uncomfortable with. Thank you, I'm at Heat. We got TJ rolling with you, Justin McKelvey rolling with you as well. Can we? Jerry Davis says that Mitch Keller slays Cincy at home. Jose, can you? I'm going to go over Keller's because I want to just move on. If I'm not going to, I don't need to hem and haw. But can you go over player matchup with on the Keller side of things, and maybe if you could touch on that too, Sharpie, before we move on. And I'm going to go over Keller's last few starts to really find exactly what made me uncomfortable. Now, the market, first off, made me uncomfortable. no doubt about that. But he shut down the Twins very easily, shut down Atlanta very easily. I mean, he's been pitching lights out, is what he's been doing, pitching absolutely lights out. The home start before that, he went complete, allowed 1 earned run on a solo shot. He's been. So that all started in June. In May, he had bad numbers. I mean, May overall, he had a 4.98 ERA. He did not look very good. And then all of a sudden, June comes and he starts, striking out less batters, but being lights out. And then, May comes, and then June comes. He gets back to his strikeouts. Why am I not backing Mitch Keller here? Why am I not backing Mitch Keller?
When I look through it, there's only one guy who actually hits him, and that's Steer. Everyone else who has a high average, they're all singles. That's all they're hitting off of them is a bunch of fucking singles. Jonathan India, 5 hits, 4 of them singles, 1 a double. Spencer Steer's the one who's got 4 hits where a double and a home run are them. The other guys are all singles.
Yeah, and Mitch Keller, by the way, also since 2022, so his last 6 starts, 5-1 against the Reds. 4-2 win, 4-2, 5-4, 4-1, a 2-8 loss, 8-5 win. All of his starts have been pretty good against them as well. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. 1 of them earned. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. The one tough one he had was 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs there. But he's been pitching well. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and this was all in 2022 and 23. So I guess I get it, just the past matchups. But yeah, I just didn't want to lay the juice with the Pirates for me personally.
It's interesting. It's let's go to Bet Online. Let me just make sure of this, because while I guess it was just a -118 anyways. I guess there really wasn't a better line on the first 5. There was always just a better line on the full game. The first 5 was always juiced towards the Pirates here. TJ says he has Reds winning in 49% of simulations, so taking them at this price is the play for me. Oh, I get that. I get that. I certainly wouldn't want the Pirates full game. I just got to figure out whether I want the Pirates first 5 at this.
I think if you like the Pirates, it's an easy under first 5 personally then, because Hunter Green and any other ace type pitcher has gone 7 innings. I mean, Glasnow, Ryan, Gray, all 7 innings, 2 earned runs or less. So, I mean, I think it's an easy under if you think Keller's going to push.
Let's just see what we'd be dealing with here. Wow, it's expensive everywhere. I think it's just too expensive at this point.
So the books are saying they're both shoving today. Then let's go. That's what I want to hear.
I was more talking about the Pirates side of things. It's too expensive. The first 5 under 4 is at a real decent price. I just, Sharpie, why I can't move on the total is because of that 1-run balloon and the U-shaped movement. If I can't fully explain why that happened, it makes me extremely uncomfortable. Somebody, and it was respected by the books, someone sharp moved on the over and they ballooned it up a run, and then it's come back. And I think the Pirates first 5 is just too expensive, and especially if Sharpie's on the Reds, maybe we look to get in live. But at this point, I just think it's just too expensive. And one more time, I know, Jose, you said that you're uncomfortable with Reds Pirates games, but can you give me just a few notes as to why you wouldn't be on Mitch Keller here at home? Other than, are you just saying my ROI on Pirates games gives me no confidence to cap it?
I would say that the Reds, first of all, again, talking out of my ass, I just thought the Reds were a better team to begin with. You mentioned the Reds bullpen being good as well. And I look at it over the last, let's see here. I have the last month's stats, so I've got it now from the 19th. Reds bullpen ERA is now, where are we? Cincinnati 6th best, 2.5. I also like looking at left on base percentage. Now you could twist left on base percentage a different way. Maybe there's not people on base when they come in, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they're putting them on there, but they're also 6th best in that. And I just don't trust the Pirates bullpen if I was going to take them full game here. They've been 25th in that percentage as well, so they're just letting guys come in. I think the Reds have a better lineup with Ellie Deli in there. It depends. We'll see if, confirm lineups. Let me see if they were in. They are in, actually, thankfully. And O'Neal Cruz does not inspire confidence either. Like, I just don't trust this Pirates offense to come through for me. And I truthfully thought this might be like minus 110 each way. And I thought that Hunter Green was just good enough to wash out Keller. So if I have a wash, starting pitching advantage, and I've got a better bullpen, I'll probably lean towards the Reds and hope that their offense can come through for me.
Another interesting thing, just to put a bow on it, is I'm surprised that Pirates full game, at 365, which is a pretty square book, would have the full game more expensive than the first five. And so often we see that 10 cent or 15 cent advantage first five is the books telling us, we don't want you on the first five. That's not what's happening here. Although I think that the Pirates first five would make sense, I'm not going to move on it here. So
I'd be closer to moving on an under in this game after all the cap,
Yeah,
first five or a full game. You obviously have to roll the dice with the Pirates bullpen full game.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay off of the spot here, but I wonder if I will rue that decision. Sharpie is the only one who has moved on this baseball game. Reds, Pirates, Sharpie's on Hunter Green over 6.5 Ks. That's plus money everywhere. JT Eels got that at plus 120 last night. You can get that at plus 110 right now at Bet365, and that will be the number that we give Sharpie for record-keeping purposes. Sharpie, tell everybody about the Odds Bunch YouTube channel and when they can find you.
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter. You already pretty much know where to find me by now, because, this is my birthplace over here, fellas. So appreciate you guys as always. Love the fact that I could jump on and talk baseball whenever I want. So thank you guys.
We love it too, Sharpie. We love it too. There he is, Sharpie's bets in the house. I wonder if I'm going to rue this not being on the Pittsburgh Pirates here, first five. And it must be just because I was on Keller's last start. So I have a recency bias of losing with him.
That probably is also a thing, yeah.
Because he's pitching so well at home, I don't see why he wouldn't here. We're just saying that at minus 130, if you can't trust the sticks, okay. All right.
Yeah, you need to, and obviously, you're just thinking first five, correct?
Just first five, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to trust the bullpen, but yeah, no, I just trusting the sticks, and if you don't know, and obviously plus a halves is ridiculous as well, but that if it's a 0-0, you're fucked, and that would be the most annoying thing. And I guess you're not, because you'd be taking the money line, I assume, and just being a push, so it's not that bad, but. I just, if I'm going to lay that juice, I want to have more confidence in the offense.
Yeah, it's just too expensive. It's just too expensive. I have to let it go. All right, we move on. We have more afternoon action. 5 minutes after Reds Pirates takes off, we have Cardinals Marlins. And this one is an extremely tricky cap. Cardinals 36-36, 19-21 on the road. Marlins 24-49, 13-26 at home. loanDepot. No, the roof will be closed. Kyle Gibson was on the bereavement list. And I tried to find out, who died, and I couldn't. So I don't know the circumstances of what he's coming back from. He didn't miss a start.
Yeah, dominated last time out.
And so if I don't know the circumstances, I can't, my mom's a shrink. I would like to put together some sort of a angle with what's happening in Kyle Gibson's head coming back to the start. I can't do that. So there is the beginning of the trickiness. You're right. That 3-0 win at the Cubs last out. 7 innings, 2 hits, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Locked and loaded is Cardinals minus 1.5. Trinos is horrible. Now, let's talk about Trinos here. We have a 30-year-old trying to get back a Venezuelan brethren from Bacacaro. Am I pronouncing that right?
Sure.
And he's trying to get back an opportunity to pitch in the majors. And he has earned this opportunity. He's been very good in the minors. That doesn't seem to necessarily, equate pitching well in the majors, but 6-4 in AAA, a 3 ERA. He started 12 games, 66 innings. Now his K to walk ratio has always been a problem, 47 and 23, but he's been good, allowing just 7 runs over those 66 innings, a 1.26 WHIP. Trinos has been very good. JPC, I can't wait to talk about that game that's coming up soon.
I'm exceedingly interested in that game as well.
It's absolutely interesting. Absolutely. BJ says morning Pirates to play. They may be, but I'm uncomfortable with it, BJ. I'm really uncomfortable with it. I'm uncomfortable with the move being, created by the public over the last couple hours. It may be the move. It may be the move, but it's not. There's certain things I've been noticing what's been working for me because I'm on a 16-6 plus 9.94 unit run in MLB right now, and I'm noticing what's working for me. It's when everything just correlates, everything works together, and if something doesn't just jump off, there's enough action. We have enough action. Okay, so I have a problem with romanticizing baseball. I like that the journeyman 30-year-old doesn't give up, goes down to the minors, pitches well, and gets an opportunity to pitch in the show. I just like that. I'm not going to get too caught up in it, but I'm going to say it out loud so that, I don't – just so I know that it's in my head. Let's go here. We have the Marlins at plus 138. They opened up at plus 156. That's an 18-cent move. The Cardinals opened up – and this Cardinals opening up at 7:20 this morning because we weren't sure who was pitching for the Marlins. So from 7:20 to 11:30, the Cardinals have gone from minus 170 to minus 150. And not only that, but if we go back to 10:35 a.m., there was a 29-cent move away from the Cardinals. If anybody in the chat knows what Kyle Gibson's bereavement thing is, that changes things. I don't. And that makes me not want to be involved in this game at all. At all. The market moved towards Trinos. Do you want to back Trinos and trust Trinos? This total opens up at 8, moves to 8.5, comes back to 8. So let's get into the cash here. And Troy Torrance says, don't fall for the sharp trap. Take the Cards. And that may be all well and good. 82% tickets, 88% of cash on the Cards, 88% tickets, 86% cash on the over. But if I don't know what the hell he's coming back from, I can't do it. Cards versus righties, they've been smashing them since May 15th. 261, 757 OPS. Marlins versus righties, 249, 665 OPS. They've been bad. This Marlins bullpen has been excellent. I remember 2 years ago, I was like, why is this Marlins bullpen not better? Last year, I was like, why is this Marlins bullpen not better? They're finally doing it, finally showing it when nobody cares at all about Marlins games. 3.26 ERA, 1.17 WHIP since May 15th. And the Cards bullpen's been very good as well. Take it away for us here, Jose. Cards, Marlins.
Yeah, another stay off game for me. I don't forget who says it, but there's always someone in the chat that says fade death. It might be Dan Kelly. Shout out to Dan Kelly. Hope his summer is going well. But I don't know what to do with Kyle Gibson. I didn't want to back the Marlins because the Marlins are particularly atrocious. I think they're second to last in the last month in right-handed weighted runs created plus. Yeah, 59 weighted runs created plus. Just really bad. And by the way, Jimmy, the only team worse than the Miami Marlins this month, the team you talked about yesterday, the Texas Rangers, very bad. But I stayed off this game. I do kind of expect Yanni to pitch well, and if it was a gun to the head situation like Markel's saying, I'd probably take the Marlins instead of the minus 2.5 for the Cardinals there. So Markel, I guess we'll see who's dying tonight. But I like the Marlins here. I just didn't want to move on them. And again, if I had to take them, I don't know if it'd be first 5 full game. We've talked about how the Marlins bullpen has been a little more improved recently. I'll give you guys bullpen ERA real quick. 4.10 ERA, 18th. So not even that good. 67.9% left on base percentage. And so not great. Not good enough for me to back it. No, thank you. I don't hate the under though, Wine Time.
Yeah. I just don't have enough information. I do not want weighted coin flips. I do not want one thing that's also happened is, and I'm sure you've noticed, Jose, is my quantity of action has been cut probably 30%, Probably cut.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation as well because you did this in football, I think, or whatever. I forget what sport it was that you did this in. You just cut your quantity like 2/3, and then you just dominated. And I was like, yeah, this seems to be just cut down quantity, and it helps a lot. That's what I obviously try to do, and it doesn't always work. But yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Well, I was thinking that yesterday because you had so much action yesterday, but you pulled off the strong winning day, and that's all that matters here.
Yeah, no, I don't love those big days anymore, but when they happen, it's definitely a stressful anxiety day.
Knots in your back the whole night. I mean, it's just, and then you can't.
Yeah, and thank fucking God, I didn't have Rockies first full game. Excuse me, I had them just first 5. That was nice, and I was on the other end of it. I took the Mets. And they came back against the Rangers. So I had a pretty decent night. I was a little annoyed at the Padres, but yeah, it wasn't too bad at all.
DJ was surprised to see Miami's 27-11 to the over, and St. Louis 8-3 to the over as favorites. And here with this total, we have 88% of tickets and 86% cash on the over, and it's moved back to the under. So I'm. Justin McKelvey says I always want more. See, when I'm winning, it's the psychology behind winning. When you're losing, you start risking more and taking more chances and adding action. When you're winning, you're just smarter with all of your action. All right, let's move on. We have Padres, Philadelphia Phillies as our next game, and we welcome another ringer to the show here, coming to us from Dallas, Texas. The star of Medicaid Mondays, professional pitcher as well in his own right. Please welcome Mr. Dabra Cadabra to the show. Dabby, how are you, my friend?
Jimmy, I'm breathing. I got good weed. I got day baseball to bet on. I mean, what the hell could we ask for, man? I'm here with you guys capping. Got the low baggers in the chat. I mean, it's a beautiful thing right now.
Well, let's get that cash here. Wine Time parlayed the Phillies with Germany. Phillies with Germany.
I love a cross-sport parlay.
Troy Torrance says Phillies team total over Dabby. And Cardinals -1 is the Pissy Cheers play of the day. Last time Gibson came off the bereavement list, he dealt. But I
didn't realize it was burnt, Rem. God damn, Rem. Jesus.
I need more information. Not all bereavements are the same.
That is facts.
Let's go. San Diego Padres, Philadelphia Phillies, Daby Cab, best bet here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get to the line history here and the weather and the cash and set a quick table for the Magic Man. First off, 88 Fahrenheit, 7.1 miles per hour out to right center, stays between 7.1 and 7.3 miles per hour. When we get to the total, we're sitting here with an 8.5. This is another total that moved back and forth. So it was an 8.5, and then in the middle of the night, it moves to 9. 5 in the morning Eastern time moves to 9. It stays at 9 just for about an hour or so, a little over an hour. Moves back to 8.5, and then we get back to a 9 again at 10:11 a.m. It stays at a 9 for only 25, 30 minutes, and it's back at 8.5 again. Overall, we've had 8 cents of movement to the over. It was initially juiced to the under. Now it's juiced to the over. So 8 cents of movement towards that over. Let's get into the money line here for this spot. We have -176 for the Philadelphia Phillies. So the line, God, you're waiting for signs here. For me, I'm capping all night, and I'm not getting the sign. I want to back Suarez. Again, the Padres have no power against lefties, although their average has improved. But I'm just not getting a sign from the books that they're uncomfortable with the price that they play Suarez at. So this opens up at -150 at Pinnacle at 8:22 p.m. And, at 3:13 a.m., it's -154. There's been no movement. And then the move happens, and it doesn't stop. And it keeps moving towards the Philadelphia Phillies. They get up to -177, come back a little bit. Now they're at -176. This is a big move towards the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, so let's get into the cash flow. God, it's just so annoying. It's like the only way you could succeed with finding out when the books are uncomfortable is if you just don't sleep. 91% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies, but the books have shown concern. 89% of tickets, 88% cash on the over. We have Matt Waldron, who's been superb over his last few starts. I'm just astonished at how good he's throwing. I know that Cab's talked a lot about what Waldron is doing and how he's different from most knuckleballers, but good God, I did not expect him to be pitching this well this deep into the year. 76 in the third innings he's thrown this year. He's only allowed 6 home runs. Remember, Daby Cab's record in Philadelphia Phillies games is outstanding. No wonder why he wants to cap them. So last start, 2-1 loss at the Mets. He was, another great start. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks. Who cares? You're going 7 strong along just 3 hits. On the road, he's got a 3.12 ERA, 2.13 opponent's batting average. And Ranger Suarez has been unhittable at home. He just faced the Orioles and shut them down at Baltimore. But at home, 194 opponent's batting average. He's 5-0 with a 1.58 ERA. And he's been excellent all season long. The Padres, as I said, no power against lefties. The funny thing about the Phillies right now is they don't have a ton of power against righties. I mean, it's just Schwarber. It's just Schwarber. 256 with a 714 OPS. You would think the OPS should be in the 730s at a minimum, 740s. And then the Phillies bullpen has been the second best in baseball behind the Guardians. 2.24 ERA, 1.09 whip since May 15th. Padres bullpen's been okay. Take it away, Daby Cab. We're all ears. Best bet, Padres, Phillies.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I want to take in this game. There's a bet that I've already made. There's a couple other things that I really like, and all of them, I guess one of them aligns, but all of them are, outside outliers. I think the under here, especially in the first 5, is a good bet. I haven't bet that one yet, but Waldron's been outstanding, like you said. And I'll say it again, even though I've said it. He might throw a knuckleball, but he can also throw the ball 97 miles an hour. Okay, so it's not the same thing that we're used to. I mean, I think he throws his knuckleball in the 70s, which is just crazy, actually, if you're thinking about it. Like, that's a hard-ass knuckleball. But, yeah, he's been outstanding. And then on the other side, Suarez, I mean, you can argue this all you want, but he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. I don't care what anybody says. Right now, he's the best pitcher in baseball. A 1.77 ERA. He's 10-1 this season. I mean, he already faced the San Diego team once. He threw 8 innings. He only gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run. The Padres hit 115 against him in that game. And then a little bit more on Waldron, 2 of his last 3 games, he went 7 innings in his last game. I mean, he's getting deeper and deeper into the games. You're seeing him 6-7 innings almost every game that he pitches now. So he's been dealing. So I do like the under, and it all makes sense. But where I bet this game is I took the Phillies in the first 5. I know that's kind of silly to say this because the Padres have been on the road for a minute, but this game's starting at 10 a.m. for them, hometown time. They're in Philadelphia here. They're going to be a little bit off of their clock here. And, I said 10-1 record, but Philadelphia is 13-1 straight up this year when Suarez takes the mound. And in 12 of those 13 games, they've covered the run line. I'm going to say that again. If you've been backing Ranger Suarez on the run line, he's covered it 12 out of 13 times this season. It's just absolutely outstanding. Padres can't hit righties right now. They're absolutely ice cold. 0-5 straight up their last 5 games. They're not covering run lines. I got Phillies in the first 5, minus half a run. I got it at minus 115. I know that's moved, but I did tweet it out and I tagged you in it. So I posted it for anyone that wanted to get in early.
That makes sense. I feel like there's also an advantage with the bullpens. And, I took the Twins -1 at around this same number. It's a minus 132 at Pinnacle. I also live bet them when they were down 4-0. I don't see why. I took them plus 2.5. I didn't take them on a money line like a genius. But
yeah, we know, Jimmy. Don't worry, we know.
It's still plus money. It was still plus money, but
good, great. But we know your strats.
But see, I think this is worth it. Phillies on the -1 line full game. I get the first 5 minus half. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I don't want to double up, and I'd like them just to win the game with the bullpen advantage. And I think I bet that immediately. I think. Let's hear what that's it. Jose, take it away.
Yeah, this was, I mean, obviously you guys know I'm not betting run lines -1s and all that such. I put my toe in the water and I got burned very badly. But this is as close as I'll get to it. I like the Phillies today. I expect them to smash. By the way, Matt Waldron's average fastball velocity 90 miles an hour. I don't know where you got 97 from.
I mean,
90?
I've seen him hit 96, so I don't. I mean,
yeah, average is 90. So I don't think he's throwing it that hard. But his
here's
velocity.
The problem with that is you're probably including a cutter. You're probably including a two-seam.
No, Savant has the cutter in here at 86. You know,
I've seen him throw 96 for a fact. Watch today. We'll watch today.
Okay, but this average is 90 here. Sinker is 91, but his knuckleball is close to 80, which is in fact ridiculous. 78. I don't trust the guy still. He's been pitching well. I think the Phillies smash here. But I will say, Jimmy, what did I say yesterday? I wanted to bet Kyle Schwarber home run every fucking day of this month. And I said, I'll wait until after today because hopefully it doesn't hit a home run. Blah, 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 blah. And then he fucking hits a home run again. And it just infuriated me again. So I'm just going to start taking it plus 180. It's a disgustingly low price for Kyle Schwarber. But I'll take it. His first home run price is only plus 350, which is really low because obviously he's the leadoff guy. So that helps. But yeah, Schwarber home run for me plus 180 on the board. It's going to be a thing every day. Everyday plays.
Troy,
so one prop in this game, and I wanted to hit this real quick, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because I do have, I guess the way I'll say this is like I've got a couple other bets I've made. They're not the same, right? So I have a prop. I do like I like Brandon Marsh over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs at minus 110. I'm just not like giving it as an official show bet because I only have $100 on it.
Yeah, no, look, it's completely up to how you want to handle what you make official and whatnot. So don't feel any, we totally support however you want to do it. We watched it work through the college basketball season. That's why we're following through in the baseball season. So don't feel any concern about how you handle things. What you want to make official, we trust you. And so I'm going to move here on the now. I hear what you're saying, Troy.
So first two pitches, just because Jose, 94 and 95 with the fastball. So maybe that's his average, but here, let's see what.
So you're telling me he dies?
Let's see what this says. Let's see what it says.
And I hear what Troy's saying, and I'd like to hear what he's saying about the -1. So I will call you about that. But
hold on.
For me, the double result is like a double up. And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be stuck with those spots anymore. So I'm just going to take the money line and the run line and put it together. -132 at Pinnacle. I'm going to see what 365 is.
93.
Offering. Here we go.
94.
Dabby, none of this is helping your case. You just showed me your phone on the screen. It's not helping here. We can't see, Dabby. Do you think it's going to help?
What does that speed say right there?
We can't see, Dabby. It's your phone.
It says 94, Jose.
What do you expect?
BJ says Philly's too public. And, I would have said the same thing if it wasn't for watching the cash cow this year and changing my ideology behind that. And we'll see if that blows up in my face. But what we've seen from these cash cow spots is if the market becomes very concerned, we just you can tell and we get paid. So I hear what you're saying, BJ, but
the movement was ridiculous. It's like opened up -140 now to -170.
Yeah, it's enough for me. But I hear what you're saying, BJ, and it's something I'm trying to let go of when the market is moving in that direction with legitimacy and not 8 cents or 10 cents, but 20, 25 cents. Yeah, there's a 94. So we've locked in here. Daby Cab on the Phillies first 5 -1/2, -115. He tweeted that out. You got to follow him on X at Daby Cab. Schwarber home run for Jose at +180. And I'm going to move on the Phillies on the -1 line here.
Man, he went to Nebraska too. What the fuck is up with Nebraska pitching? There's 3 pitchers from Nebraska in the majors.
Matty Ice says, in the car driving to Kansas City for my son's baseball tournament and will be at the Kansas City game Monday night. Shout out to you, Matty. I love it. I love it, Matty Ice. Thank you. We got started taint play today in the house. Rod Zawacki on the over 8.5 too. Over 8.5. Rod, what a call with your Oilers yesterday, staying strong, believing in them, saying that they're going to drag them back to Alberta. Great job, Rod. It's so important to stick with your belief in your Cap, and you did that beautifully. So great work, Rod, my man. So there you have it. Now, Daby Cab, you said there might be another spot on the board, but is this the best bet that you're going to stick with?
Yeah, for right now, I'm going to stick with this one. I would like to look, and Jimmy, so I'll make sure that as we cap through this, and especially because, I'm just like, everyone else, I like to listen to you. I like to listen to the chat. I like to listen to Jose. Sometimes there's things that I want to add that I didn't, have. So would it bother you if after I come on, sometimes if I just pop back in?
No, not at all. Just throw it in the private chat there for Jose and I, and we'll just absolutely, of course.
Cool. All right, awesome. And I want to show everybody this since I'm showing my phone. See if you guys can see it. See what that says? How many days until college football? Right there. We got 66 days, 46 minutes, and 42 seconds. And I'm going to make this statement here for the first time, Jimmy. I'm going to fucking dominate this college football season. I promise. This is mine. This year, college football is mine. And I'm going to take it over, and we are going to make a lot of fucking money.
As long as you're not betting A&M, I'll believe in that.
I don't ever bet A&M. They're terrible.
Here's the lies.
The truth of it is when I do bet them, they win because I know when to bet my teams, Jose.
I love it. I love everything about it. Daby Cab, it's this is the calm before the storm, and we need to come into August, that last couple weeks of August, we need to come in refreshed and ready to attack. We can't go in down 25 or 30 units from MLB and shaky and pale and sickly.
No, you're right. And because, man, I'll say this, like everybody knows, baseball was, has been my whole life. But as far as gambling goes, it's college football and college basketball. That's where, if I'm going to put $1,500 down or $1,000 down, it's going to be that. It damn sure ain't going to be a baseball game.
Shout out to was it Miami that you ripped your shirt? Was that game?
Yeah. And guess who covered?
Yeah.
Because I bet on. But it was actually the Florida State game when I ripped my shirt. It was Florida State, Louisville. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was bad. For anybody who hasn't tuned in, I do get a little bit more excited when I'm gambling on college football.
Yeah, and we'll have live streams, obviously, as well for college football games. It'll be a whole lot of fun.
I love it. Taint Play Today is in as well, and Troy Torrance going to be at our next game that we're breaking down. So, Cabby, if you want to jump back on at any time, my friend, please do that. And let me move over here and get this in.
Oh, what a game here. Jimmy, I want to fade Troy's over trend so fucking badly here.
Well, why don't
fucking bad.
Why don't you set up the game here at Wrigley Field, Hendricks? Do we know if it's Spencer Howard yet?
No, it is Eric Miller.
Oh,
Eric Miller. And obviously Eric Miller's, I believe, a reliever and, bullpen day. So we might get some Spencer Howard in here. Actually confirmed Spencer Howard primary. So there we go.
Well,
so we get both.
Is he the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball? Jose, take it away. I'm just going to make sure my action's in.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, Jimmy. He's facing the other worst pitcher in baseball in Kyle Hendricks. What a horrible pitching matchup to go to.
3 straight appearances, of course, not starts because they pulled him, but 3 straight appearances where he hasn't allowed to run. Last one was 4 innings.
Yeah, impressive.
But you don't think there's
Spencer
a chance?
Howard.
Oh, wow. Look at that from Slatsy.
Oh, yeah. I was about to give you that breaking news. Yeah, that was that happened. Yeah.
Wow. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Slatsy. I'm interested to see what they get back, and I can't believe they didn't make that move with 30 games left in the season. Just ass clowns. Very, very interesting.
Would that have changed their season?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Their goaltending was so bad, and they were beaten up. I don't know. I mean, I can't say yes. But they didn't. Fair. They just gave up. They gave up on the year, and it's just annoying. But and then it costs the great man his job, Lindy Ruff. I mean, I just hate that the general manager can be in a complete ass clown and not deal with consequences. Brad Treliving is driving to the Air Canada Center in his fucking Benzo every day, and he's a complete ass clown who gave away Sam Bennett for nothing. Completely ruined the Calgary franchise from a roster standpoint, and then he gets hired immediately from the Leafs. He doesn't pay the consequences. These general managers seem to get away with it, and it's the coaches that get fired, and it's just, it's bullshit. That's all. But take it away. Let's set up Giants Cubs on it.
First of all, apologies to Mrs. Troy Torrance. I shit on her Father's Day gift. But Troy, let's not forget that once upon a time, your very intelligent wife told you to bet on the Celtics because your child's name is Tatum, and you didn't do that. Not one time did you do that. But never forget. But shout out to her. I want to take the Giants here, admittedly. I really did. And I really do. And I understand Kyle Hendricks, finding his form. But, Jimmy, maybe again, I caught the disease of romanticizing baseball here. I think that the Giants are going to be bet on today. And then when their first game back after the death of the Say Hey Kid, and I agree with you, Jimmy, if it's hard to make a GOAT debate for baseball, but if you're going to make one, Willie Mays is probably the guy to go with, probably the greatest center field defender of all time. All the home runs, et cetera, the birth, the Say Hey Kid, et cetera. And by the way, holds like all the records for all-star game, like totals, runs, stolen bases, RBIs. It's easy to do that when you have 24 all-star appearances. But yeah, so shout out to Willie Mays. But maybe I'll romanticize this shit a little bit too much. But I do like the Giants here. And I like them even more when they go back home because they're going to do a whole thing for Willie Mays, I'm sure. By the way, also fascinating that, Willie Mays dies. He was the greatest living baseball player for a really long time, and then hands his baton to his grandson. What is it? I don't know. To Barry, which is very interesting to me. But I know Kyle Hendricks has been, pitching well, 4 2/3, 2 hits. The Cardinals. I don't know if I want to trust the Cardinals offense here. Kyle Hendricks, let's see. I always think Kyle Hendricks is a lefty because of how he throws, but he's a righty. Giants against righties in this last month. Let's look up and see how we're doing. 16th, 93 weighted runs created plus. Very interesting. The Cubs are below them with 21, 91 weighted runs created plus. Spencer Howard, again, not an ideal guy you want to back here. Ticket splits for the total, 52% of the bets, 53% of the money on the over here. Moneyline wise, sharp action, or seemingly sharp, bigger bets, I should say, on the Giants here. 28% of the bets, but 93% of the money on the Gigantes here. It opened up at minus 116. Down to minus 108, minus 107 actually now at our friends at Bet Online, who, as always, you guys can sign up for an account on our Pub Sports Radio website. Can watch the show there, do everything there. Great time, UFC contest as well. The total is 11, like JPZ is saying. So I'm assuming, and I'm going to assume correctly, and I'm going to look at Swish right now, that there is some wind affecting that total as well.
Yes,
but
I'll jump in there. It's very, very offensive weather. It's very hot and sticky. 84 Fahrenheit, 9.7 miles per hour out to left center. Stays between 9.7 and 9.1 miles per hour. We have Hendricks. The big move is at Pinnacle, and the big move happened in the last 30 minutes. So the other books haven't all moved. Pinnacle's moved pretty heavy towards the Giants. Now an 11-cent move towards the San Francisco Giants. And we were sitting here an hour ago with them at plus 107. They're now minus 102. So a 9-cent move towards the San Francisco Giants. From a total standpoint, there's been talk about the 11, but I also thought that people were saying there was an 11.5 somewhere on the board. Oh, yeah, there was. So this opened up at 11, moved to 11.5, and dropped to 11 briefly, back to 11.5. This was at 11.5, most of the morning and, early afternoon. And now it's back at 11. So there's now been an 8-cent move towards the under, which is a surprise here.
Agreed. Surprise. And it definitely, it was interesting yesterday, Jimmy. We had all that wind and shit, and that game, was easy under as it gets. And all the money, or like the line was moving towards the under, and it was the pitchers there that kind of helped us being very good, and Logan Webb being a ground ball guy. So maybe that happened, or that recency bias is affecting it too.
54% of tickets, 60% of cash on the over, 28% of tickets, 93% of cash on the San Francisco Giants. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just other people thinking the same thing as me. But yeah, I do like the Giants here today. And Troy, to make the game more interesting for you, Troy, I will offer you up a stake bet right here, right now. I'll take Giants full game. You can take the Cubs, and you can enjoy that Cubbies game even more. By the way, Jimmy, I don't know if you saw this, but Dabby, apparently someone's talking shit to Dabby, and then he said this. He said, Jose, I finished blah, 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 blah. I thought he was talking to me. I was like, what the fuck did I do?
So did I. So did I.
I was like, what did I say to him? I don't know.
Yeah, Jose, we are different from all the other channels. We are completely transparent with our records. We don't hide them when we're losing, and we don't lie about them. So that's, there's going to be times where we're embarrassed. There's going to be times where we're really confident. Another thing is we're not selling anything. So, if you're looking for pretend winners, you can go somewhere else. It's up to you. And you can diss us for not being in the black right now. It's absolutely up to you. You have complete autonomy with how you want to handle this.
I didn't even see Jose's comment because it didn't show up on our StreamYard either. So that even compounded to me thinking, what the fuck did I do to Dabby? But it's nice to know that there's other assholes out there.
What a relief.
I was like, what did I do? Can I call a timeout real quick?
Yeah.
I'm going to call a timeout. Troy, because his wife wants on the action. True. To Troy. Troy, I'll take your stake first full game, and I'll bet your wife first 5 Giants and Cubs. I know you're on the first 5 as well. I'll bet her first 5, and if I lose, I will Venmo you for a hot dog in the stadium.
Wow, I like
right
it.
Then and there.
I like it. I'm going to have to stay off of this spot, and I'm going to do it comfortably. I, like others, cashed on the over first 5 in Spencer Howard's last appearance. Now we know that he's the primary. And I don't know exactly what – I can understand what we expect Kyle Hendricks to do, but the reason why I didn't come here on the over when it was already moving towards the over was because neither team's hitting righties hard. Cubs are hitting 225, 667 OPS versus righties since May 15th. Giants are hitting 243, 696 OPS. The bullpens have actually improved a bit on the Cubs side of things, not really on the Giant side of things. But I'm going to stay off this spot. So
Okay.
Good luck to those of you who moved. What is your official action here? What are you betting, Jose?
I'm going to now. I have to now bet, I guess, Giants first 5 full game here, as well as betting these stakes here. So I have to get the prices. But I am officially locked in. I'll do it as we're talking here, Jimmy. I'm an excellent staller, is what JPZ once said, I believe. But obviously, I'm locked in on the steak and hot dog bets. First 5 full game. First 5 is -105. Full game is -103.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the next spot. The full game's -103 and the first 5 is what?
105. So yeah, full game -103. First 5 -105.
Sarah just took the Cubs first 5 -2.5. Hilarious. I love it. Nate Dogg 420 is on Toronto money line and Gossman over strikeouts. I hope you can stay with us for that cap, Nate Dogg, because I find it very, very tricky.
You're gonna like what I have to say about that game.
I find it impossible. If it has anything to do with the Blue Jays, I'm not going to like anything. It doesn't matter if you say nice things about it. It's a fucking train wreck. It's a train wreck, and the train's full of gasoline. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Next one, Arizona Diamondbacks 36-37, 17-19 on the road at the Washington Nationals 35-37, 16-18 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. So you want to find the spots where the books are showing concern at the line that's being presented. That's all. Simple. Very, very simple. And last night, the only spot where the books were showing legitimate concern was Fought and the Diamondbacks. And I felt, even though I'm a big Brandon Fought believer, he finally has a good start, and we expect him to string them together. Now, we've seen Hunter Brown do that. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I found that interesting. If we want to talk about who has just had a great start, Patrick Corbin's coming off a very strong start for him. But the market showed they were really uncomfortable with the Diamondbacks. Let's see if that's still the case. Let's take a look at the weather here in Washington. We have 93 Fahrenheit. It's hot and sticky. 7.8 miles per hour out to left field. Stays around 7.8, 7.9 for the entirety of the baseball game. Let's get to the total here. It's at 9.5, and it's juiced to the over. So this opened up at 9. It opened up at 9 at 8:24 p.m. last night, and it moved to 9.5. Less than 2 hours later, moves to 9.5. And it stays there. There's been times where this 9.5 has been juiced up to minus 112. There's been times where the 9.5 has been juiced to the under at around the same amount, minus 111 or so. But now we have a juice to the over and a half run move to the over. That's where we stand. Let's get into the money line here for the next spot on the board. And that is sitting here with the Diamondbacks at minus 162. So it's just been constant movement towards the Diamondbacks. Last night, there'd been 13 cents of movement when I was trying to go to sleep. So there's been more than that. And it stuck around there until this morning. Now we see more movement, and we're up to minus 162. So we're at 21 cents of movement. I have not handled Patrick Corbin nearly as well as others. Even when Corbin was pitching better, Jose Pete said it was Corbin Day and he was taking the team total, and it cashed. So many of you guys are just making so much money off Patrick Corbin. And even when he throws 5 1/3 and allows 1 earned run, they still lose 7-2 to the Tigers like he did in this last start. So let's pull up this. Yes, AOD, things have changed. Things have changed. Let's take a look at the cash flow. We have 80% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. So it's not an overwhelming public play. It is public, but it's not like what the Phillies were, which I moved on. 71% of tickets and 78% cash is on the over. Jarek White on Arizona minus 1.5. Robert Franklin also. Rants on the Diamondbacks team total over. Benjamin Mills laddering it as well. So let's talk about Fott. We talked about what he has just done, but that was at home versus the Angels. On the road, he has struggled. He's been getting barreled. I still think he's got great stuff, but when they get to him, they hit him hard. 5.13 ERA is 47 Ks over 47 1/3, 238 opponents batting average. Patrick Corbin over his last at home, 34 2/3. K to walk ratio horrific, 22 and 14. 284 opponents batting average, 6.23 ERA. TJ says, you guys know I've been on Washington a lot this season, but they've lost nearly every Corbin start by an average of 3 to 4 runs. They don't believe in him, and it shows. DC Capper on Arizona minus 150, and TJ has Arizona money line on his card. Both bullpens have struggled enormously. The Diamondbacks are starting to hit lefties, still devoid of power there, 244, 691. But if you want to talk about no power, the Washington Nationals versus righties, 240, 664 OPS. Take it away, Jose. Diamondbacks, Nationals.
Yeah, Diamondbacks also smash lefties. Second best in the league, second best this month. It just doesn't seem like today is going to be Patrick Corbin's day. 166 weighted runs created plus against left-handed pitchers this month. The only team better than the Arizona Diamondbacks against lefties this month, the 7-game win streak, New York Mets. Shout out to those Mets. 177. Very high there. So, yeah, I agree with all the people. Team totals, whatever, money line, Diamondbacks. I agree with all that. I didn't want to bet it, obviously, because it's juice, and I don't trust as much. Brandon Pfaadt's like my 6th guy in my rotation. He's a swing guy. I go back and forth on him very much. If I was going to bet anything in this game, I think I want to bet an over. And I really do believe that this game could go bonkers today. I think Nationals can score some runs, like 3-4 off Pfaadt, and then Corbin, I think, gets touched up. So over, I think is going to be on my card here, Jimmy, actually. And I know, and by the way, it doesn't make me feel great that I'm taking 70% of the bet, 77% of the money also on the over. And it really has not moved much. Actually, just kidding. It went from 9 to 9.5. So that makes me feel a little better. But yeah, I don't love that as well. And by the way, Tigers Braves has started, and thankfully no runs yet.
Yeah, it was tight early start there. So Topset agreeing with the second half over. Why do you think Topset and anonymous user are liking the first 5 under? This does feel like an over type of situation, hot and sticky. I don't know how Fott handles that. I mean, they go inside pretty quickly in Arizona. Let's just take a look at Fott's last few starts. Has he been, and Corbin also for that matter, have they been pitching in hot weather situations? Because it can be tricky. I mean, one thing we see is Japanese pitchers struggle enormously with it. Wow. Look at this. Our guy, Joe Yurkovich, with a $50 dono, says the show now and throughout the years helped me break the mold to the tune of plus 69 units in the last 8 months. Keep learning, everyone. Joe, thank you so much for that. And not only, the gift, but just you inspiring all of us. Means so much to us, Joe. That's just a huge, huge thing. I mean, you work so hard for your money, and to succeed the way you've been succeeding is it's so difficult, and you've earned it all. And to share it with us means a ton.
Yeah. By the way, Jimmy, here's your Flames detail: Kevin Ball, and a 2025 first round pick for Jacob Markstrom. And Kevin Ball is a defenseman.
Yeah. No, I think, and it's a high first round pick. Or higher than you'd expect. So I get that. We did the same thing with them when we traded them Schneider for a first round pick, and that first round pick became Bo Horvat. That can work. Shout out to you, Joe. That means a ton to us, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to you, Joe. We appreciate that shit.
Well, I'm really concerned that I'm leaving money on the table here. Oh, I wanted to look at let's just take a look at, has Fott pitched in a hot weather situation, and we know Corbin has in his past, but Fott's last start was against the Angels. It wasn't that hot. Padres, not hot. Mets was back in early June when it wasn't hot. Texas was with the roof closed. Dodge, he's not been pitching at all in the heat. I think the over makes sense. But why wouldn't everybody be betting the over? Who would be? I mean, even the idea that we have these cappers in the chat that are interested for the under is a surprise.
I respect it.
Oh, sorry. Say what, my man?
No, I said I respect it. Go ahead.
Professor
minus
Chris
110 official for me, by the way.
You're moving on the over.
Yeah, 9.5 minus 110. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to join you.
Yeah, I hope these guys get fucking melted out there.
I think I'm going to join you. Even though I love Fott. All right, let's roll on. Morgan Spooner, by the way, saying Ketel Marte hits runs RBI prop set at 2.5, still minus 110. 5 for 9 off Corbin with 2 homers and a double, slugging 760 off normal lefties. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, Rocco liked the home run today as well. I saw that. So shout out to you, Rocco.
All right, let's roll on. I think I join you on that one. Let's roll on. Next up for us, another really interesting spot. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We've got through the afternoon action. Seattle Mariners 44-31, 17-19 on the road. The Cleveland Guardians 44-26, 21-9 at home at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, home of our guy Ick Schnizzle. 90 Fahrenheit feels like 96. It's sticky in Cleveland. 8.6 miles per hour in, dies down to 7.6 miles per hour. The Mariners are not used to playing in these temperatures. Right now, we have these Guardians at minus 144. They opened up at minus 119. Now minus 145. They opened up at minus 119. God, it's so funny that these things that now are so clear don't become clear until you spend a little bit more time on them. Of course, that move makes perfect sense. It's just that Wu is such a tricky pitcher to figure out. So here we go. This total opened up at 7.5, and it moved to 8 within the first hour it was available. Then it came back to 7.5 again, bouncing back and forth, up to 8, back down to 7.5, which is where it is now. Now we've had no movement. So we've had this huge move to the Guardians. There's Mikey Money in the house. Great to see you, Mikey. We've had this huge move to the Guardians. 98% of the tickets, 98% of cash are on the over. And yeah, it's back at 7.5. 75% of tickets and 81% of the cash is on Cleveland. This just doesn't correlate for me. Brian Woo's been unhittable. 3-0, 1.07 ERA. He's allowed 2 walks over 33 2/3 and 1 jack. His last start was June 6th. It was a 3-0 win at the A's. Didn't allow a run again. And then he misses his next start with the forearm discomfort that he's been dealing with all year, Jose. You've been talking about all year, the forearm discomfort. The MRI comes back clean, resumes throwing, and now he's got his spot back in the rotation. Now, he opened up the year with the right elbow inflammation, which turned into, of course, the right forearm inflammation and discomfort. Then you have Tanner Bybee on the other side, who's been horrific at home. Not horrific is a little much, but 5.06 ERA, opponents hitting 253 off of him, coming off a 4-2 loss at the Reds, where he got touched for 4 and runs over 5 1/3. The Mariners are starting to hit righties. This is the first time I've said that all year. Since May 15th, now 229, 703 OPS. They've got the OPS over that 700 line. And the Guardians, 259, 741 OPS. They've been hitting all year. The Guardians' bullpens have been the best in baseball all year. 2.46 ERA, 0.96 whip since May 15th. While the Mariners' bullpen, 4.28 ERA, 1.25 whip. Things are not looking good here. Scooball struggling to find the strikeout zone.
He just hit Austin Riley with 2 strikes to load the bases. So
Joe Yerger says it seems Sharps expect regression for Woo. Look, it's not just Sharps. I mean,
he can't pitch like this, right?
But we were all over the regression when what start was it? Start 3, and he just kept delivering. But here the Sharps are all over the Guardians, expecting Woo to get uncomfortable in the heat. Take it away, Jose. The floor is yours, Mariners Guardians.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, hold on. Thank fucking God we got out of it. Jesus Christ.
Double play? Wow.
No, it was just a grounded to shortstop, and it was a very close play. There, it looks like they might be reviewing. They're holding for review like they usually do.
Wow.
It was very close. It was playing the hole, and the guy stretched out the whole way. And now they're asking for a review because he probably didn't keep his foot on the bag. So that sucks. 1-0 there probably. But all right, back to this game. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, you've heard me hypothetically trade Brian Woo to the Blue Jays a few times already this year. Regression, his arm seemingly going to implode at any minute. Like, I just, I know he's good, but like, I think he could be traded away for some offense for them. I don't trust him here. I think this is a very fascinating series with 2 division leaders, really. And Bybee, a pitcher that I like as well. I didn't have any edge in this game. This kind of felt like another version of Reds Pirates for me, honestly. 2 pitchers that I like, starting bullpens that are both, in the Reds Pirates case, they were both kind of bad, but these are both good bullpens. I don't have an edge. And I feel like if I had an edge offense-wise, all year it would have been Guardians. But right now, Seattle, like I said, they've been fighting their bats and they've been hitting. So for their sake, I do hope they trade for some bats, but I can't back them right now, even in their good form here. So I stayed off.
I can't just because of this. I would be betting the Guardians solely on the market move, and I don't want to get in that business.
It seems like this call might not be overturned. It's very tight, and luckily they might not have the camera angle, so we might just get we don't have the evidence for this bullshit. Let's just keep it pushing.
Well, let's move on. I'm not going to. I've said that I don't believe this from Brian Woo, and he's screwed me. I'm not going to do that again until
we're out of the inning. Very nice. Needed that. What a sweat of a nerfy that was for anyone that had it. Jesus.
Morgan says that Woo catches shit for not relying on strikeouts. Guardians don't strike out. This seems like a lineup that will play to his goal of inducing weak contact. Not sure Jose Ramirez knows what weak contact is. And Bo Jackson catching the nerfy, my man Bo. All right, let's roll on. Let's roll on. Our next spot on the board is the taint play of the day. And it is on the Baltimore Orioles money line. Sweet,
love that.
sweet taint, that little flap of skin beside your or between your mom's balls and her asshole. Orioles are 47-25, 22-11 on the road. The Yankees 51-24, 23-10 at home. We are in the Bronx. I imagine that this will be sticky in the Bronx. 83 Fahrenheit. That's not that bad. Feels like 85. 12.3 miles per hour, right to left, right across the diamond. Goes from 12.3 to 10.1. Get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. Garrett Cole making his season debut, and Cade Povich, the young fireballer for the Orioles. This is a total is at 7.5. So this opened up at 8.5, dropped to 8, got back up to 8.5 around 4:30 in the morning, and it was a legit 8.5. You know, it got back to 8.5 with minus 101 to the over, minus 111 to the under, and then 8. And then it's been bouncing back and forth from 7.5 and 8, 7.5 minus 116 to the over, a full run move to the under. Pretty interesting. Let's get into the money line here for this one. On the money line, Keller just took care of business against the Reds in the first inning.
Do you have any bets that you had to get in? Sorry, we have to.
Thank you. No, I'm all in. The only thing that I haven't moved on is your over at 4:00 with the Diamondbacks game, but I wouldn't mind even sitting with that for a little longer.
I get just as worried now.
Gibson scratched.
Oh,
Gibson scratched.
Classic.
Liberatore in. See, again, when you can't find out what the bereavement is, I don't know how anybody can bet on it. I don't.
Yeah.
You need to know what exactly the bereavement is.
And I feel like if you can't find it, it's particularly bad.
It might be bad.
Yeah.
It might be. Wow. Liberatore, wow. That's huge move. Huge move. And another reason why you have to, don't play action. And, when you have the opportunity to...
You say don't play action, but TJ says, love it. I have Miami action. That's funny.
Yeah, that's another thing that TJ talks about all the time is you pick the spot, you pick your pitcher that you need in, and then have action on the other side. He talks about that all the time here. Where is that? Oh, yeah. God, that's wild. So also,
is that line different now? Like drastically different real quick?
Well, another thing about that was nobody could explain the 20-cent move to the Marlins.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Right? We couldn't explain it. Why was there a 20-cent move towards Trinos? Yeah. I really truly believe, and I know that, that I'm not going to keep saying his name all the time, like fucking hater, who is just saying you're making baseball more difficult, caring about the books. Look, the books have the answers, and if we just put a line through those moves, and you have to be able to explain them first off. And Lee Davis says that 20-cent move had to be the Gibson injury. If it is an injury, who knows?
Yeah. By the way, I was having these random, thoughts by myself as I was driving in these Texas-ass back roads. I was wondering, like, and obviously I know my answer to this because you obviously have cappers that focus primarily on the market, and then there's guys that focus mainly on X's and O's. Like, for example, Troy Torrance, I consider a market capper. And then Bobano doesn't really care about the market. He's more X's and O's. So I was like, which side would I rather, be on if I was doing that stuff? And stuff like that, like, and like the A's game from last night, like those are the games that make me realize it's like, I feel like I should just be like market. And obviously, you can't be 100% on one side. You have to have a good balance on both sides. We all know that. But like, those are the moments where I'm like, fuck my X's and O's, man. Like, I trust the markets way more than my fucking stupid feelings that I have on these games.
No, I agree. Why would we be better than the markets and the supercomputers? But I do want things to correlate. And last year I didn't have a good season. The year before I had a really strong second half that gave me a great season, and it was all just waiting for things to correlate. But it's baseball is a very, very tricky. It's you're dealing with this sport where there's more numbers than in any other sport. So obviously it's going to add to the dilemmas, because you could spend 3 hours capping a baseball game with, properly, with using the analytics, who's, hot, who's been lucky, who, all that stuff. It just takes time. But let's get back to this Orioles Yankees spot. We have cappers in the chat, moving on different spots here. JP says Yankees batting 246 versus lefties, and this number would be far lower if not for facing crappy lefty relievers. 246 versus lefties. Let's talk about Cade Povich here a little bit. Third round pick in the 2021 draft. We talked about him going up against Schellenbach, the two Nebraska friends in college. And
and again, like I told you, Jimmy, Marcus Waldron also went to Nebraska.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it seems like it's a leadoff bomb for the Marlins.
Of course.
Wow. Just absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, but let's get back to this spot here. So then you have Garrett Cole. We know what Jose thinks of Garrett Cole, but let's talk about Garrett Cole here. It was the elbow issue, the elbow injury. And now in his rehab assignments, 3 starts, 12 and a third, 19 strikeouts, 0 walks. In his last one, he struck out 10 and allowed an unearned run over 4 and a third innings. So he had a high of 68 pitches on his rehab assignment. So he's not going to be going deep. An interesting part of all this is that the Yankees bullpen is now pitching poorly. It's the first time that we've got to a point where they're pitching bad. And that was moving the statistics from May 15th to now. 4.42 ERA, 1.40 whip. I wonder if this is something that we can take advantage of as we move through the summer, is the Yankees being bad. Bullpen being bad. So the Orioles are hitting 265, 817 OPS versus righties. Christopher Tatum says balance of market and X's and O's is the most important thing I've learned rolling with us. Yeah, but I can understand if you just only focused on the market. But I agree. That's the most back-to-back bombs for the Marlins.
Okay, I'm not gonna watch that baseball game. I will not be watching that baseball game. Thanks for coming out, Cardinals. Okay. There.
Let's talk about the history here. We have Garrett Cole and the Yankees at minus 144. This opened up at minus 165. So we've had a big move towards the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore's were given out by Matty Ice at plus 140. They were at plus 140 for a while. You could have gotten a plus 150 for a while. So plus 140. So we have a big move towards the Orioles. And then on the total here for this one, we have this sitting at 7.5. And then when we did the cash flow, sorry, I already talked about that. When we did the cash flow, we have 87. Oh, sorry. Here, we have 90% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Yankees, 97% of tickets, 97% cash on the over. Here we go, Jose. Are you riding with Taint? Are you fading your friend Garrett Cole?
Yeah, shout out to Kermit. Welcome back. I missed him. I'll say it. I missed the guy. I'm happy to see him back. His AAA and AA starts were pretty good. 4 innings most, 4 2/3, almost 5, but it's really about those up downs is what those pitchers care about. Getting up, pitching, and then stopping, resting your heart rate a little bit, and then getting back up. Those are the things that those guys try to do for these. The most impressive thing about Garrett Cole's rehab starts, to me, no walks at any of those starts. 10 Ks, no walks, 4 Ks, no walks, 5 Ks, no walks. Now, sure, we're going up against AA and AAA slapdicks. They're facing Garrett Cole. They want to hit a home run off them. They're swinging out of their shoes, all that stuff. But shout out to Miguel Money, a trend that he pointed out and that I've followed to success here. And it is, I think, by far my least favorite trend to bet. because it is kind of flying in the face of the market here. I know the Yankees can't hit lefties, and by can't hit lefties, this month they are, let's see here, 9th, 122 weighted runs created plus against lefties, 116 plate appearances, so still good. And Kate Povich, welcome to the league, my man. This is going to be a fucking hell of a start for you. Maybe I would like to see, I'm looking up to see who his first starts were real quick. Yeah, Atlanta, Toronto, an Atlanta team we know is not hitting. Yeah, I think this is an over game, Jimmy. And I know that the market has, gone down and there's a shitload of money on the over here. And I'll define a shitload as 97% of the bets and money on the over, and it still went down. And again, like earlier in this year, I would be on the under here. But now that we've gone down a full run, I will take the over 7.5 minus 120 here. I think the Orioles are good value here. I do like the Orioles. But I think there'll be runs scored on both sides. And it's, again, the most disgusting trend that I bet, because this is, as we just talked about, I'd much rather be a market capper, and the market is screaming under here, moving that line down, making it more appealing for everyone to bet the over with 97% of the bets and money on it. I will bet the over 7.5 here. And in an ideal world for the books, this ends at 8.
And shout out to I'm That Heat. Happy Juneteenth to
shout
all
out to you
as well. Happy Juneteenth. Important. Thank you for talking about that. I'm That Heat. I think I saw someone else talking about it too, but absolutely. I feel like I feel like I know that we're trying to make educated guesses on all these games, but I don't want to guess on Garrett Cole here. I don't want to guess what he's going to do. And Cade Povich coming off a good start. I mean, I felt like all of the love for Baltimore didn't coincide with what the statistics were saying yesterday. Here, it's just, again, you're saying, oh, this is such a good baseball team to have it at this big plus money. Want to fade Garrett Cole in this first start. Look, I'm not going to sit here and guess what Cole's going to do, but I do think the bullpen is vulnerable. So,
and I think that will turn. I think as baseball seasons go, bullpens go up and down, ride the waves. I think by the the end of the season, I think the Yankees will have a top 5 bullpen probably.
Well, they had one all year. This was the first time statistically they didn't look very good. So, what is your official action?
Mm-hmm. Over 7.5 minus 120. So, and by the way, it's always funny to me when we have two people in the chat with like similar names, and Mr. Heat and I'm That Heat have just realized that, and I just got a good chuckle out of that. So shout out to you both.
Yeah, shout out to you guys both.
I obviously, by the way, if I'm picking sides here, I'm team I'm That Heat because he's a member, Mr. Heat. Sorry. That's how that works.
All right. Yeah, JP's same thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll on.
Yeah.
7:07 p.m. Eastern. I think last night was the first time I cheered for the Red Sox against the Blue Jays in my entire life.
Welcome.
Red Sox 39-35, 21-15 on the road. Blue Jays 35-38, 18-18 at home. I want the Blue Jays to lose out, and I want everybody fired.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo going up against Kevin Gossman. Gossman has the bobblehead night tonight too. It's a bubblegum bobblehead night because he chews the bubblegum.
Sure.
Wine Time Sports on the Jays minus 130.
Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first start after him calling out the offense?
It is, yes. But everybody respected the way he called out the offense. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Everybody thought he did it in the mature.
I mean, yeah. This is it, Jimmy. This is the game they win. You've already lost 2 games in this series. Kevin Gossman on the bump, your ace. You've been touting him all year. Now, again, I'm not betting full game here because I don't trust this Blue Jays bullpen, admittedly. But this to me was Blue Jays first 5. Brian Bayo has not been good all year. Do I want to bet on him to figure it out? No. And Kevin Gossman in his career has fucking dominated the Red Sox before. Just I remember just fearing Kevin Gausman like he's the fucking boogeyman. Now, his last few starts against the Red Sox, he's looked mortal. Really rare. It's been weird. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 1/3, 8 earned runs in that start at Boston here. But still, I think he pitches well. I think there's hella motivation. I don't think you can call out the offense and not go out there and pitch well. The offense, after that call out, is going to want to perform for him specifically after getting called out by him. This is a Blue Jays first 5 spot written all over it. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I like your X's and O's. And if the market is coinciding with that.
Yeah.
But I asked Daby Cab, do you think that Gausman is thinking about how bad he's been at home? And he said, no, he's not. He's just trying to keep, his pitches down in the zone. That's all he's focusing on. Right now, the opposition is hitting 325 against Gausman at home. 325. He has a 6.44 ERA. Andrew G talking about the Blue Jays lineup now with no Bichette. There's Razor Sharp picks in the house. What up, Razor? So I can't get over it. Reginald Coach saying Bayo 7-5 is no way, dog. But I can't. I'm ready to bet. If this game was on the road, I'd already be all over him. That was the biggest bet, on the Saturday of the Belmont Day that I've made on a baseball game in a regular season. I think I can't remember a bigger one.
Jimmy, you'll be happy to know that today is in fact not Kevin Gausman bobblehead day. It's Bo Bichette.
Okay,
Just mixing up your bobbleheads, unfortunately, but still the same theory. I get it.
The bubblegum Gausman is on July 3rd. I love Mikey.
Yeah, I love how Bo knows this.
But also, Bo's a season ticket holder. But
Bo's
Mikey
going.
Calling Gausman a slob. Where does that come from? Slob? Is that what? Okay, so I understand that Gausman called out the offense, but look, what's going to change? I'm so down on this baseball team that I've got to wait for Gausman to go out on the road to deliver.
1-0.
Bo says maybe Gausman shoves, but the wheels fall off once he comes out. Now, I still believe in this Blue Jays bullpen, and they actually have pretty decent numbers since May 15th. They're moving in the right direction. So the Braves do have one. There's one on the board now, 1-0 Braves. 1-0 Braves. As we know, 2-0 Marlins. So we also have a 0-0 in Pirates Reds. Pirates are threatening a little bit in the Padres Phillies game about to pop off. So let us know if anyone's moving on live action. But here, I can't do it. I can't do it. Let's talk about the most important spots here. First, it's gorgeous in Toronto, 83 Fahrenheit, 11.5 miles per hour to right field. Just perfect night baseball weather up here. Let's get into
roof open.
Sorry, what's that, man?
Is the roof open?
Oh, yeah. Roof open for sure. This total has moved to 7.5 at Penny. The interesting thing is at 4:30 in the morning, this moved up to 8.5. So 5 hours later, it's at 7.5. I mean, it's just a huge, and then back up to 8, down to 7.5, a half run move to the under. It's a lot of movement. Let's get to the money line here. The money line movement in this one, I think, will be a telltale sign if the market has any concern about the Jays waking up offensively. Right now, Gausman is at -131, opened up -119. So, 12 cents of movement. I mean, you've got to think that Gausman will deliver here. You got to, but the Red Sox are smashing righties. The Red Sox are excited to get to the ballpark. I can't do it. Even hearing your confidence in them, I can't get there. Let's see if the cash is all on the Red Sox. You have 29% of tickets and 54% of the cash on the Red Sox. So big bets are coming in. 96% of tickets, 97% cash on the over, and it's gone from 8.5 down to 7.5. Look, I can't get here. And Rod Zawacki says Bobo shithead night. Boston moneyline 10-star play of the day. Jesus. I'm off. Jose, what are you making official here?
I don't know if I've bet many of these this year. Blue Jays first 5 -0.5. I don't bet -1/2 very often. I don't like them. This could be a lower scoring game, but I'll take the -1/2, even money. I just think, and yeah, you heard me yesterday, Jimmy. I am all the way the fuck in on this Red Sox team. I fucking love watching this team play. The young players being as good as they are right now just fills me with so much vim and vigor that I am sustained for the rest of the year. And I have, of course, bet them to make the playoffs yesterday, plus 240. But yeah, I think that Bayo is the one guy on this rotation that when he comes on the bump, I'm like, ugh, don't like my chances today. And that is a big change from what happened last year. I mean, he was the best pitcher in the rotation last year. So I'll trust your guy here, Jimmy. This is me putting my faith in your guy, Kevin Gausman, and these bum-ass Blue Jays. Show some goddamn fight one time for the first half of this game, and then watch the bullpen implode and the Red Sox win this game full game. But first 5, Toronto Blue Jays.
Shout out to our guy Mikey D in the house. Also, Rushia is saying, big Sox fan myself. I bet them to make the playoffs as well.
Let's go, Rushia. Come on.
Let's roll on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern with the Tampa Bay Rays 34-39, 50-16 on the road. Minnesota Twins 41-32, 23-14 at home. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Taj Bradley coming off a beautiful performance in a 3-2 win at home over the Cubs. 2 runs were scored. They weren't earned. He looked really strong. 50 strikeouts now, over 38 in the third. Now he has allowed 8 jacks.
Yeah.
When
Bradley almost on my rotation.
When he gets barreled, it goes a long way. But he's been pitching very good. Going up against Joe Ryan, 0.94 whip. It's funny that he has a 0.94 whip and a 3.24 ERA because I have this vividness bias of him not pitching well, and it's in my head. Now, it has been at home. He's allowed 13 home runs this year on 86 innings. Royce Lewis over 1.5 bases is the Stacks play of the day at plus 114. Stacks, Justin's the man. 406 Stacks plays of the day he's dropped on us all.
And one a day, and I think like every day consecutively. I didn't think about that. 406 days consecutively, basically, of watching us. Shout out to you, Justin.
Yeah, he's the man. He's such an important part of what we do, and such a
of course, we've seen it like fluctuate. He'll go like down 10 games, and now he'll win like 8 or 10, 9 straight, and now he's back up 2 games. So shout out to you, Justin. We're watching.
Yeah, and we would love it and respect it, man. And we want to get to hang out with you in person, you know? That's what we want. So we can buy you some drinks and share our respect because it goes through the whole of everybody here. Rays Twinkies, Bradley versus Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan's not been very good at home. Now his K to walk ratio elite, 45 Ks, 5 walks at home. But 4.01 ERA, 206 opponents batting average. The Rays are not hitting righties, 209, 622 OPS, while the Twins are 246, 735 OPS, and the Rays bullpen cannot be trusted. If you can get a chance to get in live on the Minnesota Twins, do it. Do it. All right, let's take a look at the line history here, as well as the weather. 72 Fahrenheit, not as hot in Minnesota. 7.3 miles per hour left to right, dies down to 5.4 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history for this one. We have the Twinkies at -161. I immediately wanted a sign from the books that there was an advantage with the Twins at this price. Now, maybe you got one from Professor Chris. Professor Chris saying the Twins should be close to -200. Maybe that's enough, but I still want to know that the books are a little concerned. I moved on them yesterday because the book showed a lot of concern. Now, they had to come back from a 4-0 deficit and winning the game in the bottom of the 9th there. So I just got the push. And I, in all honesty, I put it out as a -1. But when I bet it, I put a little more on the run line. So it was actually a slight loss, but that's whatever. Let's get into this one, though. Cash-wise, we have 98% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. You have 87% of tickets and 94% of cash on the Twins. We got a full Delaware card from our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. That's his home track. Razor Sharp Picks, full Delaware card here. Let's get that here popped in. Full Delaware card. So take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet. because as much as I feel like the Twins are the side here, I'm not getting enough of a sign from the books when it's such a public play. Now, seeing Professor Chris is a sign, but not enough. Phil the Kill giving a shout out to a fellow Delawarean. Take it away, Jose Reyes, Twinkies.
There's not many Delawareans out there. There's probably like 15. So shout out to you guys. No action. I'd rather be on the Braves personally, or sorry, the Rays. I'm thinking Braves there, but I like Taj Bradley. I also like Joe Ryan a lot, so maybe I'd consider an under here as well. All that money on the over is a little surprising to me. I don't really trust either of these offenses, and I root for the downfall of the Twins and Royals now. So I lean Rays, lean under, but no action here for me. Though, Jimmy, I will tease this. I have a bet that I will be giving out later on in the program, a futures bet on a soccer. Those who know me probably know what's coming, but I cannot put this bet in because I don't have that sweet legal. So I'm going to ask you or perhaps someone else to put this bet in for me if you could, or if you just want to be my bookie for this and not put the bet in, because we know how that goes. It's a plus 550 bet as well. So I know you'd be interested in that.
I don't like holding on to those very much, but yeah, I'd love to have that opportunity to make that decision.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So we'll tease that at the end of the show. I have a plus 550 bet that I'll be making. It's going to be a fun one. So
let's roll. I love Rod's confidence last night with Edmonton going to Florida. I couldn't get over it. Like watching, they were so clearly the best hockey team last night. And I was like, I love the way he stood by his guns. All right, let's
You
roll.
should have seen Mikey Money too yesterday. Mikey Money was all talking that shit about Edmonton. I thought Florida was going to whoop their ass.
Those of you who stayed true to the Oilers down 3-0, I'm love to see it. You guys deserve it. I can't wait for Game 6. I wish I didn't have COVID. I still feel like whatever. I would love to host a live stream for it, but just not well. Okay, let's roll. Next up for us, Mets Rangers. Mets 35 and 37, 17-14 on the road. Rangers 33 and 40, 16-19 at home. We're at Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. The roof will be closed. You have Sean Manaea here going up against Andrew Heaney. Now, Manaea's looked very good. You know, last start, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and 2 win at home over the Padres. But that was the 4th of 4 straight home starts. And I don't trust him leaving New York now. Now, I know he hadn't been a Met for a long time. There's our guy, Blue Numbers, in the house. But in saying all that, I don't trust him in this first road start. He's been great on the road. Why? But it's been a long time. It's been a month since he's been there, starting on the road this year. 3-0, 2.81 ERA, 25 and 2/3, 20 Ks, 11 walks, 234 opponents batting average. Andrew Heaney, I want nothing to do with. So maybe we'll look. Maybe it is an over spot here, even though the roof is closed in the pitcher's ballpark. But the Mets rake lefties, 284, 833 OPS, and the Rangers can't hit lefties. But do we trust Manaea here? A pitcher they've had a lot of history with. Actually, could you pull up the matchups with the Rangers batters? Because a lot of the young guys maybe don't have the history with Manaea, but the older guys will have a ton. Both bullpens have not been good. Professor Chris says Mets again for me. Model is Mets minus 130, close to 134, and run line plus 124. So we bet both there. And or host a Game 7 live stream. That would be dope too. So yeah, the Saturday night Game 7. We don't want, because UFC's early. I might be ready for that. A
Game 7 in this kind of scenario would be fucking ridiculous. I mean, Game 6 in Edmonton is going to be like bananas. Bonkers, like ridiculous as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Game 5 or the Game 5 on the road is always the toughest game to win in these comebacks. So respect to them.
So TJ says, isn't this just an obvious Mets money line? He's big on streaks here.
I agree. I'm right there with you, TJ. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm right there with you. This feels like an obvious, maybe not obvious, like take the Mets in like a team total or back the money line situation again, honestly.
Well, let's talk about it. So the Mets open up minus 104 right now. They're minus 105. So no real distinct move towards them. We get to the total here on this one. We have it's sitting at 8.5, juice to the under. So this total opened up at 9, dropped 8.5, got back to 9, dropped to 8.5, and got even down to an 8 at 9:30 this morning. And it was almost a legit 8 as well, which is wild. Now it's back at 8.5. We still have this half run move and a legit half run move to the under. Let's get to the cash flow for this spot. We have 64. Oh, sorry. We have 54% of the tickets and just 27% of the cash on the Mets. Bigger bets coming in on the Rangers. 91% of the tickets, 81% cash on the over. This has dropped to the under. I don't trust Manaea first start on the road at all, not whatsoever. I don't want to get in the way of the Mets. I don't want to back Andrew Heaney, who's been bad at home. This is not appealing to me at all.
Oh,
take it away, Jose. You're on the Mets. And look at Razor has moved on the under 8.5. Gamblers first glance at -115. Razor sharp picks. Gamblers first glance is in. Take it away, Jose. Your plan.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Razor. Gambler's first glance there. Shout out to our guy Kong's Clips, who's been a member for a year now. Shout out to you, my guy, Razor Kongs. Appreciate you for that. And Mr. 8, yes, just scroll down. You'll see the $sign, I believe it is. Become a member today. $9.99 a month for gold member races every Thursday and Friday, typically. So shout out to that as well. So yeah, I want to take the Mets here. That number or that total going down is a little concerning. Razor being on the under is a little concerning. It does feel like a classic under spot like we've had it earlier in the season. I don't want to call them both shit pitchers, but they're not, household brands that you want to bet unders on. And I bet you if you looked at this pitching matchup, you'd think over. Rangers in this month against lefties have not been horrible. They've been 15th, 104 weighted runs created plus and around 200 plate appearances. So not too bad. But the thing that is going to buoy me here, I hope, is the New York Mets, 177 weighted runs created plus. We mentioned it earlier, the best against lefties this month. So these are the Rangers numbers against Manaea. The last time they saw him was 21. 5 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. That was 21, like I said. So it's been a while. Adelise, 6 plate appearances, a home run. Nathaniel Lowe, 6 plate appearances, a home run. Corey Seager, 6 plate appearances and a home run. And Robbie Grossman hits him well. I honestly, if it wasn't for Gambler's first glance, I'd probably be leaning over in this game. But I lean, and I'm going to bet the New York Mets full game here. Just ride the wave of this Grimace winning streak.
And what is the juice?
Yes, that's a good question. Juice for me. Let me give my Bet Online a refresh here, just so I know we're all good here. It is at -107 now.
Jose is on the Mets.
And just a reminder for everyone as well, I have it on my notes. We do not bet home dogs at +120 to -102. We do not bet those prices. Shout out to you, Troy Torrance.
Let's roll on. We got Red Girl in the house. Shout out to our friend Red Girl. 8:10 p.m. Eastern with the Houston Astros 33-40, 14-21 on the road. Chicago White Sox 20-54, 13-23 at home. We're guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. We'll start with the weather in Chirac. 89 Fahrenheit. Feels like 94. It's hot and sticky. 9 miles per hour right to left across the diamond and slightly in. And then the wind changes completely by the end of the game. By the end of the game, it's 7.3 miles per hour to right field. So that changes completely. Shout out to our guy Kong's Clips, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership, and Joe Yurkovich getting it. Joe Yurkovich donated $50 to us half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago. 2 great guys. Thank you so much for your support.
By the way, 2-run home run, 3-0 Braves now.
I was looking at that. There's 2 out, a runner on second.
And by the way, Sharpie mentioning that over ERA or earn run prop with Scooble there. Very interesting. And he gives up 3. So, and by the way, Kyle Schwarber walks in his first plate appearances. So annoying there.
God, this is a very slim chance here that we're going to be able to get that under 3.5. Shitty way
walk
to
the
start
tightrope.
A very shitty way to start the day, and then not moving on the under with the idea that Green was going to strike out because we knew that we thought Mitch Keller was going to pitch well. Okay. Let's roll on. So Regidan says White Sox spot again. I moved on the first 5 under 4 at -115. Let's see what it is now at 365. At the time, it was -117 at Pinnacle. I sent it in at -115 here at 365. Let's see exactly what it is now. So this was a spot that I thought was so good that must move. Oh, I love that shit. 3.5 now, almost 3.5 for the pick'em.
Do you see the difference in the first 5 line and the full game money lines?
The Astros -120 and +110. Holy shit!
It's so crazy. The White Sox are -130 first 5.
Wow.
I was looking to see. I was like, maybe we can get a decently priced White Sox first 5 +0.5. Fuck you. They give you White Sox -0.5. Fuck you if you think you're gonna bet that.
Wow. That is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. So, but if I'm gonna come here with a bet before the show started, I better beat the market move. There's got to be. I mean, even though that's not necessarily means you're going to cash anything, just a sign. That's all you. So
I agree with that. If you don't, then you feel like a jackass. Obviously,
yeah. It's just. So we've had only 7 cents of movement on the full game under. By the way, at Pinnacle, under 7.5 -112, now -119. But big move on the first 5, which is all I care about. On the money line here, we're sitting here with the White Sox at +110. They opened up at +103. So again, just like same amount, 7 cents of movement here. Now let's get into the cash flow for this spot. We have the White Sox with the Astros with 64% of the tickets and 98% of the cash. Then 69% of tickets, 66% cash on the over as well. So Hunter Brown, both last 2 starts have been very good. So when I bet this, Jose, I didn't fill it because I have the skeleton set up, and I didn't even fill out his road record, and I didn't
Hunters.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. 318 opponent's batting average, 6.93 ERA. I don't believe those numbers are true. The way that the brass stayed with him, didn't miss a start, didn't send him to the IL. They believed in his, in what he has, and so I don't
move
care.
on Phillies. Phillies -1.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're in a good spot. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Waldron doesn't have anything working for him today.
I like that. And Rod Zawacki said not crotcheting shit today. Anonymous user says, how don't you back White Sox here for 3? Because I think Hunter Brown can go pitch for pitch. Now, look, Crochet's a monster. 13 strikeouts in his last start, right? 2 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot. Look, he's very, very good. But I believed in Hunter Brown last year, and it cost me money. The fact that they stuck by him this year when he was pitching so horrible, I knew he had the stuff. We've seen pitchers do this and get their shit together, and he's done just that. And another thing here for that first 5 under 4, the Astros aren't hitting lefties at all. 225, 635 OPS since May 15th. White Sox aren't hitting righties, 213, 620 OPS. Astros bullpen's been very, very good. 2.61 ERA, 1.15 whip since May 15th, while the White Sox bullpen's been bad. 5.75 ERA, 1.61 whip. Jose Bouquet, I'm on the first 5 under 4 at -115. What's your plan for Astros White Sox?
Yeah, I think I'm going to double up, and this is going to be another day of a lot of action for me here, but that's just kind of is what it is, unfortunately. So, Jimmy, we've talked about the ridiculous prices White Sox, or not like, I guess, specifically White Sox, but first 5 to full game. I think you agree with this, that they put those first 5 lines so much differently because they don't really want you to bet them. I just think that's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to take the first 5 White Sox. I'll lay the juice. It's not going to be my favorite bet of the year I've ever made. I'll tell you guys that now. And I'm going to join full game under here, and I'll hope that the White Sox bullpen can collectively keep their shit together. And in an ideal world, say this is 0-0 after Crochet comes out of 6 innings of work. I'll trust that the White Sox and Astros bullpen that is good when they have their guys available. When Abreu and Hader are ready to go for the Astros, their bullpen is great. But after that, you get fucking what's his name? I already forgot. Ryan Presley. It's just nothing that really, for me, inspires confidence. That's why I've had my doubts on this Astros bullpen all year. And Abreu hasn't thrown since Friday, and Hader hasn't thrown since Sunday. So I'll trust him. Full game under for me. White Sox first 5, both on my card. So White Sox first 5 is going to be, and I don't love eating all this juice, minus 132. The most juiced I'll take on a shitty ass team right there this season, guaranteed. And the under 7 at even money.
Under 7 at even money. And Jose, you don't eat juice. We'll move on to the next spot on the board here. Jose's moved on. White Sox first 5 and full game under 7. And I'm on the first 5 under 4, minus 115. Next up for us, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, LA Dodgers at Colorado Rockies here. Yeah, I saw that, my dude. By the way, Hunter Green, 5Ks through 3. Let's get Sharpie to the bank. We're in Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. I liked the first. I was shocked at the line they gave us for first 3 plus a half last night. And I know that Ryan Feltner is bad. His numbers tell us that. He is dealing with consecutive home starts. The last start, he only allowed 4 earned runs. He struck out 8 and walked 1 in 6 2/3 in the thin air. Now, that would be better if he didn't allow 3 jacks, which he did allow. He's been horrific at home, 331 opponent's batting average, 6.89 ERA, but I couldn't help but to find this very appealing. I don't know what Bobby Miller is going to do here. We have not seen him in a long time. In his rehab assignments, now, and I know this doesn't matter, and I know all they care is, Bobby, did you hit 99 on the radar gun? That's all that they care about. But he looked bad. So he had 10 strikeouts and 8 walks through 15 innings. He 7.80 ERA, 1.80 WHIP. So this is a tough spot. If you get a barrel on a 99 from Bobby Miller, you're probably going to go yard. And I'm very interested in the Colorado Rockies early. Very, very interested. So let's take a look at the line history and the plan here. We'll start with the weather. 72 Fahrenheit, 9.7 miles per hour to left field. Dies down to 7.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have on the money line, the Rockies at plus 173. They opened up at plus 170. So there's been no movement towards the Dodgers as a favorite. Let's get into the total. From a total side of things here, we have, I'm just waiting to lose that fucking bet. This is down to 10.5. Amazing. So this opened up at 11, dropped to 10.5, right back to 11, down to 10.5. It just kept bouncing back and forth from 10.5 to 11, 10.5 to 11. But we have a move to the under 10.5, and it's juiced to the under. Rocco says, I think Feltner gets toasted here. Freeman, Ohtani, Hayward all project well for home runs for him today. Rocco on Freddie Freeman over 1/2 bases. Freddie Freeman homer, Ohtani homer. So let's take a look at the cash flow then for this spot. We have 90% of the tickets, 96% of cash on the Dodgers, 74% of tickets, 78% cash on the over. I guess what I really want to hear from you, Jose, is do you think Bobby Miller could get touched here? And I'm going to see what the juice is on the first 3 plus a half. So We did get through the top of the fourth. I would be shocked if we can get 9 more outs in Atlanta, Detroit before a run is scored, but we shall see. Take it away for us here, Jose. More Colorado, Rocky, LA Dodger action.
Yeah, and fuck you, Matt Waldron. How about that too? By the way, Jimmy, as we often say, pitcher finds himself in a jam early, pitches his way out of it. Usually seems good things after that. So we'll see how that develops. Yeah, we'll see how that develops with Matt Waldron. You know, it's a working theorem we have here. You know, it's a part of our
almost always. I mean, like it's not like it's a 70-30. I mean, it's like 90
agreed.
And but
it's a part of the 10 Cap Commandments. I still haven't listened to that song, by the way. God. I still haven't listened to the song, guys. Again, no action here for me. I bet on the Rockies in these first 2 games of this series. I do think they can get some runs off of Bobby, though. Jimmy, I think the 2 most important things for me on a rehab start, obviously 1, velocity, he has to be there. 2, control. How many walks do you have? And I just mentioned how the most important thing or most impressive thing for Garrett was no walks. Bobby's walks, 4 Ks, 3 walks, 2 Ks, 2 walks, 1 walk, no strikeouts, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Not good. Not good. Concerning. I don't trust it. I'd rather be on the Rockies here again, but I'll stay off this time. And a team total here. I cashed that team total yesterday the quickest way. I'm interested in hearing it again, and it's 4.5. Oh God, that's interesting to me right there.
I'm getting 3.5 at -145 at 365.
I got 4.5 at plus money, plus 105. But yeah, I mean that's crazy. I think they can score 3 runs off Bobby, and then hopefully scratch one across on the bullpen. But that's just nuts to me. Yeah,
I don't know how. So look, Dodgers first game without Mookie. We know what teams do. They rally around their fallen friend. They did that. And then last night, our guy Luke Murphy and 4-0. All right. Well, we knew it was coming. You know what? That's 2.5. Oh, I guess I'd already bet it. All I could have done was get out of it. Hearing Sharpie say that 2.5 for the first time all year.
Fucking Ramon Laureano does it too. That's
after what I said about him. Fucking
disgusting.
And the Padres have just hit a homer. Okay, I'm going to stay focused here. Everything is fine. I mean, it's not exactly what we wanted to start the day with, but okay. So here we go. My dude says this is Miller's first time pitching in Coors Field. I can understand what Joe Yurkovich is saying. I completely understand what he's saying. Take the team total over. That's down to 3.5 here. But you know what I want is I want to challenge Bobby Miller to look good right away. Feltner is coming off a decent start. He's got consecutive home starts. We watched the Dodgers rally around Mookie Betts and then have this miracle comeback. How are they not going to be resting on their laurels or tired or something? The first 3 plus a half at -120 is just good money to me. It cashed so easily yesterday. And I'm going to go right back to the well with Feltner versus Miller. Rockies, first 3 plus a half. I
will take the Rockies team total, and my dude pushed me over the
edge.
Oh,
no, he's asking if it is. And Rocco's saying it's not. Okay, sorry.
God damn it. You I'm going to say, my dude, you pushed me over the edge there.
Well, you haven't bet it yet. Why don't we go to...
I wanted to see the first time in Coors. Yeah, he's faced the Rockies once last year at the Rockies. So this will be his second time. His first time, 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, no walk. That was his second to last start of the last season, though. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna believe in this Rockies offense. But yeah, so this is the second time. I need to pitch well, but I don't think that's the same guy now. So 4.5 for me.
Johnny K saying Phillies live. I'm still getting a -135 live. That's not how I do business, man. But I'll keep an eye on it. Joe Yurkovich says no way. Do me 2 at bats for Ohtani and Freeman. Look, I'm going to do it. I hear you, Joe.
Joe, be a little more boisterous, Joe, and then add some spite. so Jimmy can have a spite bet into this, and then we'll really be cashing.
No, I get what you're saying about Ohtani and Freeman here off the hop, but all right, let's roll on. Next up for us, we have 2 games left. I'll send the message here to Brizzy here in a second. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Remember, we got Brizzy joining us for WNBA. Milwaukee Brewers 43-30, 21-18 on the road at the LA Angels, 29-44, 12-24 at home. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's take a look at the weather in Anaheim. 71 Fahrenheit, 9 miles per hour to right field. It's a little warmer. It's getting warmer, and the wind is blowing out to right center. Let's get into the line history here. We have here we go. We have the total sitting at 8.5, juice to the under with Anderson versus Peralta. This opened up at 8, and it didn't last. It lasted 40 minutes before it went to 8.5. Went to 8.5 and stayed there. And now 8.5 juice to the under. So it is a half run move to the over, but not quite legit here. Let's get into the money line for this one. From a money line perspective, we have Tyler Anderson at plus 158. Opened up at plus 135. A huge move to the Brewers. Wow. 26 cents of movement to these Milwaukee Brewers here. Reginald, I'm going to be on the Rockies first 3 plus a half. First 3 plus a half for me. I just think maybe Bobby Miller shoves, but show me that you can not put some ducks on the pond here. So we have Peralta going up against Tyler Anderson. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this spot. We have 85% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Milwaukee Brewers line moving drastically in their direction. 85% of tickets, 84% cash on the over. The move slightly in their direction. DC Capper on the Angels at plus 136. Freddie Peralta coming off an ugly start at home versus the Reds. 6 earned runs over 5 1/3, 10 hits. On the road, 3.98 ERA in a 218 opponent's batting average. Actually been better on the road than he's been at home. Tyler Anderson on the other side coming off a nice start at the Giants. Now the bullpen fell apart. But he looked good. 5 1/3, 1 earned run. And the Giants were raking lefties, and the Brewers are not. And Tyler Anderson's been so good at home. You put that all together, and I understand the bullpen. 3.06 earned runs more allowed by the Angels over 9 innings than the Brewers. I mean, it's horrific. So I understand the advantage, but I don't think Tyler Anderson is a bum here. And Freddie Peralta's got to prove it to me. I respect the market move. I'm not going to take the other side. Take it away for us here, Jose. Brewers, Angels.
Yeah, I think I'll just stay off this game. Angels are nothing for me. Tyler Anderson has been pretty decent. But I just stayed off this game. No action for me in this game. And our under, I will say, obviously, first 5 unders not looking great. Not losing or not winning, but full game also in peril now. 5-0 Braves. Tariq Skubal just cannot throw a strike today. So I'll be batting. I'll be betting on him again next start. This is just one of those starts where he just didn't have control.
He didn't look good last start.
Yeah, I'll have faith in the bounce back. I still think he's a Cy Young candidate kind of guy, and he'll figure it out.
All right, so we're not moving on Brewers, Angels. Let's go into Royals, A's, our final spot on the board in MLB before we're joined by Billy Brisbane. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Cole Ragans versus Luis Medina. I do not trust Luis Medina at all. We faded him in his last start. He had that great opening start. We faded him in his last start. And now I was shocked to see the line not moving towards Cole Ragans. Let's see if it has now. We'll start with the weather, though. 59 Fahrenheit, 10.3 miles per hour to right field, between 10.3 and 8.9 miles per hour. Let's get to the line history. This is sitting now with Ragans at minus 170. Excuse me. So there's been no movement. None. Why? Why is that no movement? We saw it yesterday. We're seeing it again today. It is confusing. Let's get to the total. And when it worked out for anybody who, trusted there was no movement and backed the Oakland A's. This is also dropped to a 7. It's not a real 7. It's a minus 121 to the over and plus 108 to the under. But it's dropped slightly. And then let's get to the cash flow here for this one. You have 99% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the over. It's not moving in that direction. 86% tickets, 84% cash on the Royals. This is a surprise to me. The A's don't hit lefties, 222, 662 OPS. The Royals are hitting righties hard, 253, 732 OPS. My dude says Raglan should be the look here. Alec Marsh should have been the look yesterday. The market is telling us otherwise. So, Joe Yurkovich says it's early yet for the line to move. Oh, I don't think so at all. I mean, it's the public hasn't gotten in, but the sharps aren't interested. Take it away, Jose. Royals A's.
Again, no action. I lean A's again though, 100%. -1, almost -180 on the road for the Royals. No chance. No chance here, even with Cole Ragans. I think this is an A's spot. I'll be rooting for the A's. And Jimmy, I'll say this. I was wrong about the A's being a wild card contender this year, perhaps, but I don't think the A's and the Royals are like that far apart from each other team-wise, if I'm going to be honest. So no action. And if I was to bet this, it would be purely market, and I need to see, I would need to see the A's have a little more success against lefties for me to back them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And Waldron is pitching really well.
Yeah, and Chase J, I think this is kind of sums it up. Everyone says Royals yesterday. Market says A's. A's win. Same thing here. You think Royals are probably better. They juiced the lineup, but the market's saying A's again. And it's these kind of games that make me feel like fuck my X's and O's, man. If the market's going to tell us this, then I'll throw my X's and O's out the window and trust that. But yeah.
All right. And my dude changing the last 18 days to what the A's are doing, the lefties, because the A's have actually been hitting with some power here. And Luke Green says 7 Ks for Hunter Green. Hunter Green doing the job here.
See, the issue is, my dude, is that I looked at that lefty split as well. If you want to use it this month, they're third best against lefties in 66 plate appearances, though. So it wasn't enough for me. I think they'll probably come down from that number. Is more realistic what happens, but we'll see. I'll be a little annoyed.
Reds' first 5 team total under should have been the bet. Obviously, that's very, very frustrating. Let's roll on. Let's roll on here and review all action. A lot of love for Sharpie here. Now 6-2 on our show. So the spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford, the spreadsheet dog play of the day, though, 16-10 plus 11.94 units is your Seattle Mariners. Jay Smoothball's play of the day. Kansas City team total over 4.5. Mets team total over 4.5. He's tying them together for a plus 357 parlay. Ron Walsek, Sons of Beaches play of the day. Yanks Orioles over 8. Justin McKelvey, who's hit 9 straight stacks play of the day, is on Royce Lewis over 1.5 bases at plus 114. Troy Torrance has the Cubs double up first 5 in full game. He's on the Reds money line. Cardinals, and then he's got Cardinals tied to everything. Now they have tied it up 2-2. And they have 2 runners on with 1 out, so they can possibly take care of business here and get him still alive. I don't know if he has action on that. I'd have to ask him. He's heading to the game today. And the Cubs have never lost with Troy Torrance in attendance.
Good day to break that record.
Pig Milk played today with me on the Detroit Atlanta first 5 under 3.5. That gave me confidence. He was going for 6 straight. Chosen ones on the Tigers money line, the Pirates money line, the Pirates Reds under 8. What a call. It sucks. I cashed on the Pirates Reds under yesterday, and I said how good Cincinnati unders have been, and then I don't have it. Chosen one also on the Phillies first 5 minus 0.5. So afternoon action doesn't look good. Jose's on the first 5 under 3.5 and the full game under 7.5 in Detroit Atlanta. And so we both are 0-1 to start the day. I'm on the first 5 under 3.5, and there's our guy Sharpie in the house. Please support the Odds Bunch YouTube channel as well. Sharpie gave us green over 6.5 Ks at plus money, cashed it. I could tell with the breakdown that it made so much sense. He's only gone over 6.5 2 of the last 8 times, so the books are basing it on that. And great call. Morgan Spooner, Pissy Cheeros play today was on Cardinals -1. I hope wasn't action. Then we have the Phillies here. Daby Cab on the Phillies, first 5 -0.5, a -115. So what's going on here? Did we just get a? Oh no, we have a commercial break. Why?
End of inning, I think.
But I don't have 3 out here.
Oh, I didn't see what happened, but yeah, I just saw one of the runners running to the base coach, so I have no idea. But
oh yeah, I don't know. We must maybe someone can tell us here. Okay, so Schwarber homer for Jose. I'm on the Phillies -1. Cabs on the Phillies first 5 -0.5, -115. Then we have Jose on. This is a big afternoon for you, Jose. You got Giants first 5 and full game. You're on the over 9.5. Say what, my man?
I have that, and I also have Schwarber home run.
Yeah.
No, it's a 12-bet day for me. I'm sweating already. My hands are leaking.
You're on the over 9.5 in the Diamondbacks game. There's been a 5-cent move to the under since we talked about it. It was -110 to the over. Now it's -105 to the over. We heard 2 cappers in the chat liking the under. Why? Yeah, Sharpie. It's Scooball still hit his strikeouts, but yeah, we were talking about that 2.5. That I'd already bet it at that point. But important information. You know why? Why would that be? I don't know if I get there. I don't know if I'm putting question marks beside it now. Then 640.
Best bet, Joe T over in the Mets Rangers game. Shout out to you, Joseph.
Our guy Joe T in the house. Mariners, Guardians, no action for us. Jose's on the over 7.5 in Baltimore, New York, and the taint play today is Baltimore money line +140. Jose's on the Jays first 5 -0.5 at even money. Rays, Twins, no action. We had Razor Sharp Picks shares Delaware card. I'll pop that in the chat at the end of the show. Jose's on the Mets at -107, and Razor Sharp Picks is on the under 8.5. Gambler's first glance in that Mets Rangers spot. First 5 under 4 for me with Houston White Sox, and Joe Yurkovich is moving on Kansas City -1. Anonymous user says we need to bring WNBA into the show. It's coming up in a few seconds. Brizzy is backstage ready to rock.
Come on.
Jose's on White Sox first 5 and the full game under 7. I got that first 5 under 4. And then I'm moving on the Rockies first 3 +0.5. Copying pasting TJ's action here as well. TJ, Atlanta money line, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh first 5 under. Beautiful. Cincinnati money line, New York money line, Arizona, Washington over 9.5. So he's on it. God, it's just so strange.
Right,
why would it be moving back to the under? I mean, it just makes me so uncomfortable. Joe Yurkovich has warned me about this Rockies first 3 +0.5. Maybe I wait a little bit on it. Brewers, Angels, we stayed off. And Royals, A's, we stayed off. So I don't have much action, not a quantity of action.
That's good.
Well, let's see. And then the idea is, are we going to want to move on to Phillies live at some point? When do we want to move on that? So a lot to figure out here. Giants, Cubbies about to start. And maybe Fott and Corbin get through the first inning and I move live on the over. A lot to figure out. Okay, there we go. Jose Bouquet, my man, I know you'll be joining me for the closing of the show, but any last words on the MLB card today and the cappers in the chat?
No, good luck, everyone. It's going to be a tight one. Good luck to everyone not in the Troy Torrance family, I should say specifically. I hope the Troy Torrance family comes home from Wrigley Field feeling like a bunch of losers because they owe me a bunch of steaks here today. So shout out to them. Appreciate everyone for watching. And stick around for a plus 550 bet that my father might be booking for me. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I love the option. All right, it's time to get a new WNBA and bring on one of our experts in basketball, all things basketball. Also, he's one of the stars of our big MMA podcast, the Locker Room Podcast. It debuted this week. This week's debut was last night at 11 p.m. Eastern. The numbers are skyrocketing for this show, and rightly so. These guys are getting that cash. Locker Room Podcast available now. It's on our homepage. It's our main video, and please support it. Starring Billy Brisbane, Big Show Picks, 2 Cents, and Millsy, aka MMA Locker Room himself. So check out our podcast. Remember also that fight night pops off at noon. So maybe Game 7 live stream here on Saturday night for the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. If it gets to that point, maybe we have to do that, COVID or no COVID. So let's roll in WNBA and bring on from South Jersey, our guy and yours, Mr. Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
Doing good, man. Tailed Sharpies, a little Juneteenth action to start off the day. So nice little winner, and then had a loser in the Euro Cup. That's my fault for betting on fucking soccer when I shouldn't have been betting on soccer. I was up too early.
Well, thank you for making time for us, Brizzy. It means a ton to us, and congratulations on the success of the Locker Room podcast. Watching it blow up the last 2 weeks has been wonderful. So congratulations on that. Richly deserved. Let's get to work. We got 3 games in WNBA. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Washington Mystics 2-12, 1-7 on the road at the Indiana Fever, 5-10, 3-4 at home. We're at Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have the Fever right now -5.5 and -106. Opened up at 4.5 at Pinnacle. But let's use BetOnline openers. BetOnline gets to the market first. And if you're looking for a new account, we have a promo on our website, pubsportsradio.com. If you use our link and use Pub Sports as the promo code, they will give you a 100% bonus up to $1,000. That's for new accounts only. They also open this up at 4.5. The interesting thing here was that after it being available, this line came out on Monday night at 9:02 p.m. 1:15 p.m. yesterday, this moved towards the Mystics. And this has happened a couple times. It went 4.5, 4.5, 5, now 5.5. Now we have a 1-point move to the Indiana Fever. When we get to the total here, we are sitting with a 167.5. Not the highest total on the board. That belongs to Seattle Vegas at 171. This opened up at 166.5, now at 167.5. Mystics 2-12, 1-7 on the road. Fever 5-10, but 3-4 at Gamebridge. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Mystics Fever.
Yeah, I'll be quick. My WNBA card kind of looks like some of the cards in the past in the NBA when I double up on one game and kind of not spray the board, kind of narrow in on one game. And this is definitely not the game for me on the card today. This game is not high in betting, I feel like, but like definitely will have my watching interest. I mean, anytime Caitlin Clark plays, I'm probably going to watch. It's hard to decipher what's the value side. Bettors keep on trying to take this plus money versus the Fever when they're favorites, but the odds makers have done a good job of pricing the Fever. 3-1 straight up as favorites. They're in better form. Washington was able to get their first win of the season last time I was on the show, and then they followed it up with their second win of the year versus the Sky. They ended up winning that game. We ended up cashing the Angel Reese double-double prop on the show. So both teams are rolling in here with a little bit of momentum. The pace of play of Washington's actually higher than Indiana's right now, but I question the offensive efficiency between these two teams despite the move towards the over here. When it comes to the total, all I think it takes is a one bad shooting efficiency quarter, and that probably cashes the under. When it comes to a side laying 2-1 with a team that doesn't really play defense isn't a profitable angle long term. I think the edge in this game would probably be in the player prop market. Julie Van Loo for the Washington Mystics, her assist prop is at 4.5. So if you're on Prize Picks, make sure you use promo code PubSportsRadio. Get yourself $100 back when you put down 100. So you get 100, spend 100. Evens itself out. Some Prize Picks looks was Julie Van Loo over 4.5 assists. She's going to be the main facilitator for the Mystics with Atkins out of the lineup. In her last meeting versus Indiana, she subbed off the bench and she looked great. So now she's starting tonight. And then the other one was Aaliyah Edwards over 7.5 rebounds. As long as Shakira Austin's out of the lineup, her props are worth a look. 2 top 5 picks going at it tonight. And I feel like she has on short list some of the physical body strength to make an immediate impact to the WNBA compared to the other rookies in the league. And then Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't be taking her under on her props tonight, despite her coming off a near triple-double versus Chicago. It's clear what games and matchups are going to favor Clark, and she went off versus Washington in their last meeting. She scored 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. So I don't think the same exact production is going to happen, but her prop tonight's only 17.5 points, 2.5 three-pointers. So if she clears the three-pointer prop, I mean, you're halfway there. So more of a pass game, lean towards the under, and I would lean towards the prop market as being the value side. But I have action in the rest of the games that are on the card tonight.
Well, let's roll into them. Ron Crawford also just shared his play of the day in WNBA. It is Minnesota -10. Let's get into this spot. Atlanta Dream 6-6, 3-2 on the road at the Minnesota Lynx, 11-3, 7-1 at home. We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Start with the total. This total is at 161.5 at BetOnline, but it's heavily juiced to the over at -125, so it's really 162. But this got up to 162.5 a few different times. It even got to 163 this morning at 8:07 a.m. and then dropped at 10 a.m. back to 161 and down to 160.5 a few minutes after that. So U-shaped movement on this spot. Let's get to the money line here from a money line standpoint. Oh, sorry. Spread standpoint. My bad. From a spread standpoint, we are sitting here with Minnesota -10 at -115. Opened up at -8.5. And the first move, Brizzy, this opened up yesterday morning at 10:47 a.m. The first move was towards the underdog Atlanta Dream. Now the move has come right back, but that was the first move. It moved to 8, and it stayed at 8 for hours. It stayed at 8 for 6 hours. Now we have a 10 -115. Oh, I forgot to touch on the cash flow of the last game. We do get WNBA cash flow now. I wonder if we'll ever get to see CFL cash flow. But on that Fever game, 79% of tickets, 79% of cash. 79% of tickets, 76% of cash is on the Fever. And on the total, we're getting no information on any of these spots. On this one, we have 34% of the tickets on the Atlanta Dream and 97% of the cash. That's 5,356 tickets, too. That's some legit tickets here. Absolutely wild. Swiggy says Lynx didn't exactly crush the bad Dallas Wild Wings. Now 10 versus a better team. Anonymous user says right now he's loving the +10 on the Dream. Take it away, Brizzy. Dream Lynx.
Yeah, eventually one day, Jim, we're going to get you into the stake and get you into the WNBA season here, making some official.
A couple of years ago, I did move on it. It takes work, hard work.
It does take work. Yeah, no, it definitely does take work. But I mean, comparably to the rest of the markets, I mean, it seems like a very soft market still, like despite all the views coming in. But as I digress, I'm on a Minnesota Lynx. I bet it at -8 last night at Bet365. I think the reason why the line stayed still is everybody was watching the 2 games last night. Shouts to the Mercury, ended up cashing for me. It's just I would say in years past, the Dream have been probably my most bet on team in the WNBA. And this is not the same fucking team from years past, despite still having Alicia Gray and Howard. It's just not all meshing. The Dream were able to get their much needed win like on Sunday against the Sparks after dropping back-to-back games to the Indiana Fever and the Washington Mystics of the fucking toilet bowl that we talked about earlier. Those were their last 2 losses. So it's just a team that they just don't have an identity. When the front court is out there, they're going to have to run a slow pace, and it's less efficient because of the spacing. So it's just a head swirl right now for the Atlanta Dream. And I like the Lynx here in this spot. 3rd game of a 4-game home span here. The Lynx 10-4 ATS, 7-1 at home this year. The odds makers in the last couple of games have overcorrected their spread, losing back-to-back double-digit spreads. This game should go under the total, and the easiest way to cash an under, in my opinion, is a blowout. And what this game screams to me is that the Dream are bleeding points, giving up 84 points in their last 3 games, going into Minnesota on a quick road trip before going into Indiana Friday night for a national TV game against Caitlin Clark. Seems like a letdown spot for the Dream coming off of a big win, double-digit win, in fact. And a smash spot for the Lynx as they continue their homestand. The full game spread was the action I ended up going on because I don't trust the first quarter or the first half. The Dream are 3-9 first half ATS this season, so I thought it was going to be on first quarter, first half, full game. But Minnesota's only 2-5 as favorites first half ATS and 3-5 first half ATS for the season. So kind of want to stay away from the first quarter, first half, and just play the full game. The Atlanta Dream off the top of my head, is it Coffee or is it somebody's out for the power forward tonight position for the Dream. It's not that big of a deal. It's not going to change the point spread too much, but it just seems like a smash buy here for the Lynx. Like the Atlanta Dream are just not a good basketball team. They need to figure it out. Their head coach is probably going to get fired throughout the Olympic break. She wants to run a slow pace offense, but she doesn't have the guard identity to run a slow pace offense. How do you run a slow pace offense if you can't shoot efficiently? And then you're playing against a team that's probably statistically, like, I would say the book nerds, the ones that are doing the stats and betting the WNBA based off of stats, are going to tell you that the Minnesota Lynx are the best team in the WNBA, hence why everybody's been betting on them the last couple of games. But the Dallas Wings are not a horrible basketball team. That's just a team that's dealing with some injuries, but the offensive talent that they do have in their team is good. No Enrique Ngubawale in that last game, and everybody and their mom went to the fucking window and bet the Minnesota Lynx at minus 14.5. And what happens? The good old bookie fool, where star player is out, line moves towards the favorite, then the underdog plays a triumphant game and cover the spread. Happens every fucking time. Like it literally happens every fucking time. So I had to get on the Maddie Seagrass props in that one. So I haven't bet the Lynx too much in this little home game stand. I've been kind of being patient and waiting. And I think this third game of a 4-game homestand is a spot. Their next game's against the Mercury on Saturday. And we'll talk a little bit about the Mercury, but they're playing that. Sleep on my Mercury. Coming out the West this year. Don't let BG start blocking shots now. Out here looking like Joel Embiid. She's the Joel Embiid of the WNBA, in my opinion. But this game here, you bet the Lynx or you bet the under, in my opinion. If you think the Atlanta Dream are live, you bet the under, because for them to even win this game or to cover the spread, they're going to have to play defense. This is not going to be a track meet.
Great breakdown, both you and Ron Crawford, on the Lynx. Let's talk about the final spot on the board. A lot of talk in the chat about Chelsea Gray returning tonight. The Aces just 3-4 at home. Is this a smash spot for them? They are now 6.5-point favorites at minus 115. They opened up minus 4.5. That was 2 nights ago, 9:02 p.m. That lasted for 11 minutes. It moved to 5. That lasted for 3 hours. It moved to 6. There was a little bit of buyback a few times, but this has been 6.5 since 9 this morning. But it moved to 6 pretty quick. And Heritage hanging a 7. Let's get to the total here in this one. We have a total of 171. Opened up at 168. We've just been climbing a 170. Oh, yeah, moved down to 170.5 and then back to 171. But 171 is the high water mark here. And then cash flow, interestingly enough, we have 84% of the tickets that are in, 7,578 tickets, 84% of the tickets are on the Storm, 62% of the cash. I wonder, is it the star player returning situation that the public is backing here? Harper home run. I was waiting to bet it, not Harper home run, bet the Phillies live, and I had a chance at minus 110. I have this need for a plus sign beside a live bet or I don't make it. But helpful. Take it away for us, Peas. Oh, sorry. Look at Peasies. All right, take it away for us, Brizzy. Storm, Aces. Floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, me and Dave were actually talking about this Saturday morning. The Aces last game, he hit me up and told me Asia Wilson PRA, and I was like, anytime the Aces are playing, I'm looking for team totals, because the way they're playing defense this month is just fucking terrible. Team point totals throughout the month of June versus the Aces. Atlanta Dream, 78 points. Dallas in a blowout, 81 points. 78 points for Seattle. 96 fucking points to the LA Sparks. 100 points to the Lynx. 99 to the Mercury. And then 90 in their last game versus the New York Liberty. They just don't play fucking defense, man. It is bad. It's hard laying points with the team, regardless of them being home. They're only 3-10 ATS in their last 14 games as a favorite. The Storm are 6-3 away from home, dropped their last game in Phoenix. They're allowing 85.7 points per game. The Aces are third worst in the WNBA, allowing a league high 9.8 3-pointers per game. Yeah, Chelsea Gray's set to come back for this game. So if you like Seattle, I would just wait on the line. I think this line goes up a little bit higher to like +7, +7.5. Seattle's a powerhouse team, and they're balanced, and they can play various amount of styles. In their first meeting, they're able to score, winning the game 78-65 in blowout fashion as a +7.5 point underdog in Las Vegas. This line kind of feels fishy, but there's one thing I can count on this game. It's fucking points. Points galore in this one. I'm on the over 170.5, and then player prop of the day is going to come from this game. You can play the points and assists, but to be honest with you, I'm just going to stick with the assist here. Skylar Diggins Smith now. Crazy. Get married, then you add the hyphen in the back name. Crazy. But Skylar Diggins Smith over 5.5 assists at -150. Yes, it's a little bit juicy, but the Aces are giving up the third amount of assists to the point guard position in the WNBA. And then on top of that, they're the worst team in the league guarding pick and roll ball handlers. And that's literally what Skylar Diggins Smith does. She's gone over assist prop in 4 out of her last 5 games and 5 out of the last 6 versus bottom 5 defenses. The last time that they played against the Aces, she had 7 earlier this month. So I think this game is going to be close, competitive, high scoring. It's a marquee game for a reason. Yeah, they'll tease you a little bit here with the Caitlin Clark game, but in reality, the game to really watch tonight is the Seattle Storm and Las Vegas Aces. The Seattle Storm are a super team, and the Aces are like the former super team. So it's like I'm high on the Seattle Storm. I want to bet it. I should bet it. I'm not going to bet it. The reason why I like the Seattle Storm is because the Aces don't play fucking defense. And if they're not going to play defense, I'd rather just cash it over and not be sweating a full game spread at the end of the game, fucking yelling at the TV at 1:00 in the morning about free throws and women's basketball, rather than just cash the fucking total prop halfway through the fourth quarter because this line's too low. They don't know. It's kind of like the bookies. You see this in like other leagues that aren't as popular, like the UFL or something like that. They're computerized total lines, and they either go way over or way under. So it just raises a red flag. I think I talked about this earlier in the Mystics Fever game. The first time that they played, I bet the over in that game. 40 points off from where the first game finished about a month ago. I mean, the first game finished with a 143 total, and they said, fuck it. We'll throw 30 points right on top of that. I mean, I feel that tells you everything you need to know. 30 points difference from where the first game finished at, and the bookie said, fuck it, we'll set the line total even higher. I think it's a cop-out way of kind of just eliminating a side and just bet the total, man. Just the way the Aces have been locking up on defense. It's just bad. Third worst in the WNBA. There's a handful of teams right on the top of my head I could think of that fucking suck this year. And the Aces have just been allowed 96 points to the LA Sparks. Anytime that you play, over for me for the rest of the month.
I love it. Over 170.5 at -110. Skylar Diggins Smith over 5.5 assists at -150. And he moved on the Lynx at -8. So he's got 2 points of glory there because Ron Crawford still likes it. Still play the day material at 10.
I would take it up to 10. I don't think the possession matters. Like, they're either going to they're going to win the game by 12 or 13, or they're going to lose the game outright. Or not outright, but you know what I mean? Like, lose the game ATS-wise, like win the game by 4. Like, I don't think the two possessions, like, if I know some people are like into alt-lining things, I would alt-line it up to 13.5.
I love it. Alt line available for the Lynx. Getting a lot of love from the chat. Brizzy, thank you for making time for us for WNBA. A lot of cappers are attacking it, and it's great to have your advice and angles. Brizzy, we want to know, give us a little idea of what's on the big locker room talk podcast for MMA that starts Saturday at noon Eastern. Early start. Give us an idea of what's up for you guys.
Crazy. There's so many fucking fights this weekend. We have PFL Friday night, Saturday, Bellator, same exact time as UFC Saudi Arabia. And I don't know what the Saudis have going on, but they have this card under wraps. I've never bet a UFC card a week out in advance, and all 3 bets got voided the Monday at Fight Week. That's why you got to tune into the Locker Room podcast and see what action we ended up moving on, because they gave me the money back and paid a couple bills and a couple streaming bills, and then we got to get the money back, right? So you got to tune into Locker Room podcast, and then you got to tune in at Getting Bills over on X. You'll see me around in the MMA world this week. I think I'm on MMA Monk's channel for Bankroll or Bust with an old friend of the channel, Uncle Weezy. So talking some MMA, UFC Saudi Arabia. We got the podcast up on the channel. We have the picks on the website. I mean, how do you not tell the Tatsura, Tyra, and Gervonta Davis last week? They ended up saving my ass with a bunch of other people. So it's a lot of action going off this weekend. I'm probably going to need like the chat or people on Twitter. Let me know how you guys want the action dispersed. Do you want PFL Friday night? Do you want Bellator and UFC mixed in? Or do you not even give a fuck about the Bellator and you just want UFC? Because I think the Bellator card this weekend's popping. The real question is, will Conor McGregor be in attendance for Bellator this weekend? It's in Ireland. The whole entire half the cards SGB Ireland. So that's why you got to stay tuned here and keep up with the MMA news. Shouts to Jim for bringing us on for some WNBA action. I mean, got to show some love to the females because it's crazy. I would never think that the WNBA would be my most profitable sport in the last month, but here we are. If you keep on giving out soft lines, I'll just take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Brizzy, you're such a big part of the channel, and we love capping with you. Thank you for making time for us, and congratulations on the Locker Room podcast. It's blowing up. You go from 1.5K 2 weeks ago to 2.4 last week. I mean, that's it's climbing very fast, and you guys deserve it for what you're doing. So much love. Please support the Locker Room podcast. Support it. Check it out on our YouTube homepage and support our guy Brizzy getting _Bills_ on X. Any last words, Brizzy?
Yeah, in the name of Tease, RIP. Let's cash some WNBA tickets tonight for our brother.
I love it. I love it. Yes, we need to talk about Tease as often as possible. And Truth Teller says, anyone remember the Sonics? Good God. Jesus. How do I remember them? My God damn, I love them. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, man.
It's funny. I don't remember them or Vancouver Grizzlies.
Well, you didn't miss much with the Grizzlies. Good God.
Well, shout out to Oklahoma State legend. Big country.
Oh, God, was he terrible. Sean Kemp, what a monster, man. What a monster. And he... I don't want to talk about how many kids he has from how many different baby mamas, but Kemp was a monster. Still a really nice guy, really likable guy. Say what?
Well, I mean, you got to be a likable guy, I guess, to have all those baby mamas. But yeah, it's just like Antonio Cromartie.
You have to have ends, AOD says Vancouver Grizzlies best jerseys ever. I got my Bibby jersey right there. I wanted us to be called the Rainmakers, man. Teardrop going through the hoop. Rain's nonstop out there. I mean, that's what we wanted. Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. That was one hell of a basketball team. That was a great series against the Bulls. They played the Bulls well. Supersonics, baby. That is our show for today.
One last bet.
Oh, yes, Jose. And what is that bet? Let me pull up 3.
Yeah, you might need to send this to Greg. I don't know.
It's Dan.
I just want 25 Yankee Franks on an upstart team. A team that believes in themselves, led by a man that's been on this team since I was fucking born, leads this team in scoring, is going to find it in his heart, and with a country full of fucking losers, Jimmy. This country is full of fucking losers, and they need something. They need something to believe in, something to cherish, something to hold on to. And this is what this thing has become. Venezuelan soccer is back. We're back in business, and we're in the Copa America, which is the American version of the Euros. And it's happening this year, few days away, and we're in Group B with Ecuador, the shitty Mexican team, and Jamaica. And these motherfuckers have the audacity, the gall to put Venezuela to win the group plus 550. I asked about it yesterday with our guy Dave Rogers and co. I asked them, I was like, can you guys look this up for me? Because my bet online and all those places, they don't have these kind of odds. And I'm trying to find it. I can't get it. So I asked, they told me plus 550. Ridiculous. Venezuela right now above Ecuador in the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying standings by 1 whole point, yes. But these teams are closer than I think those odds. Jamaica is the real wild card in this group. I don't know what to expect. And I'll keep saying it. Mexico sucks dick now. Mexico is not good anymore. Mexico gets dog walked by the U.S. And Venezuela can beat the U.S. So here's what's going to happen, Jim. I can't wait. We're going to win this group. We're going to find a way to win this group because on Friday, we play Ecuador, 5 p.m. It's going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be a huge game, and that will determine my mood for the rest of the week. We'll play Ecuador. Then we play Mexico in California, a tough game, but I believe we can beat Mexico and their sorry asses. And then Jimmy, I personally, me, myself, and I will Venezuela to a victory on the 30th against Jamaica. I will us to a victory. I will be 5 rows behind the goal, and I will be in the other goalie's ear the whole game. Andre Blake, I'm coming for you, Andre Blake. Your neck is mine. We're going to win that game. We're going to hopefully draw Ecuador. We're going to win the group, and then we're going to play the second place in Group B, or Group A, which, Jimmy, is going to be the Canadian team, and we're going to snap your necks because you guys are fucking disorganized. You don't know what you're doing over there. You're firing your coaches. You're rehiring guys. You don't know what you're doing, and we're going to make the quarterfinals and promptly get our ass kicked right there, and that will be the best moment in Venezuelan soccer history right then and there.
We didn't fire what's his name. He left.
Yeah, whatever happened.
Herndon?
And now you guys have another coach who I forget his name already.
Jesse Marsh. I listened to the interview with Jesse Marsh. Herdman, Johnny Herdman.
He's actually a good coach.
Yeah, Herdman did a great job. Marsh sounded like he knew what he was doing. Okay, well, $25 bet on Venezuela pays out $162.50. So what I will do, Jose, is not send it in. All right? There you go.
Me and you.
I will not send it in.
Me and you.
And then when you lose, I will then have you send in a bet for me. All right?
Sure.
That's how we'll do it. Or not send it in, however you would like to handle things. That will be it.
Sure, of course.
All right. So now that returns $162.50. So, of course, you don't get your $25.
And guess what? I'm going to be there again. Last game of the fucking group stages when we take Jamaica's soul. I can't wait.
So $137.50 profit is what you will have in Yankee francs.
Thank you. And I obviously on Friday will be giving out Venezuela draw no bet against Ecuador in a gigantic matchup.
Ron Crawford says, give me a shout about yesterday's race. Yes, Ron Crawford, you were fantastic. $50 richer, Ron Crawford. You beat 70 plus other stallions in that race. It was, very, very, very impressive. I hear Carter coughing out. I fear that the COVID has passed through the family now. Not good. Not good at all. Ron Crawford, spectacular running yesterday. DC Capper says, what was the opening line on the Washington side? I believe it was 4.5 and moved to 5.5. Let's take a look. Yes, Washington opened up at 4.5 plus 4.5, and now it's at plus 5.5. So 1 point move towards the Indiana Fever. There you go. There you have it. Let's take a quick look at the live action here. Padres and Phillies are tied at 1. Phillies have a runner on second. The Pirates, Reds are 0-0 here. 2-2 still for Cardinals, Marlins, 7-0 Braves, and the Giants Cubbies game is just about to begin. Thank you guys. Yes, my dude. Woo, very interesting pitcher. Woo. I'm very interested to see how he bangs out. So that is our show for today. Don't forget, spreadsheet play today is the Seattle Mariners. Royce Lewis, Justin McKelvey, Stacks play today. He's hit 9 in a row. And then for us, Jose has got a lot of action here. Of action.
Do you want me to run through it real quick?
Yes. So I'm 0-1 now. But I've got the Phillies on the -1 line, which I've got confidence in. And I don't know what to do with that Arizona Nationals over. I've got 2 hours to make that decision that you are on, little less than 2 hours. So at that point, I'm on the first 5 under 4 -115. I destroyed the line move in that White Sox Astros game. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get paid. But other than that, then that would leave Rockies first 3 +0.5. It's my only other bet on the card if I don't add your over. Wow. That's not a lot of action for me. Not going to be a fun night if that's the case. My dude says, I love the Reds live. Jose, please review your action, my friend.
Yes, and later on in the week, Jimmy, we have to have a conversation about my next hockey thing that I'm fascinated by. I walked, obviously in Dallas, I walk and they have a gigantic Dirk statue there now. And I was shocked to see a hockey statue there. Mike Modano?
Yeah, Mike Modano.
I don't know who that is, but he seemed good.
He was the greatest American-born player until
Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane took it, but Kane will be usurped as well. The American program is very, very good right now, although they didn't show it to us in the World Championships. But they kind of did. I mean, they could have easily beaten the Czechs in the quarters, and the Czechs went on to win the whole thing. So, but yes, Mike Modano. The story of Mike Modano is that he lost all of his money. So 80 million, 90 million, he lost all while he was still a player.
All
of it.
The Evander Kane.
Well, it wasn't from gambling. Not that Evander Kane's all from gambling, but I can't remember the exact situation, but it was sad. So he loses every cent. So by the end of his career, he's playing, for like $1 million, $1.5 million, and he needs the money to survive. He needs the money.
And he was just probably disgusting then.
No, but everybody felt bad for him.
So they kept giving him jobs.
Everybody felt sad for him. For however, I forget exactly how that all broke down. I don't want to talk about it.
And it's not even, that wasn't even my question. I'll talk about this later in the week, but I'm interested in why Martin Brodeur was so good and how they just apparently beat everyone like 1-0.
Well, they played a trap hockey game, trap style play, which yes, the Devils created the trap and they had the perfect team for it. And with Stevens and Danico on defense, and just
Brodeur Canadian.
Oh yeah, from Quebec, man, from Montreal. I believe he's from Montreal, but yeah. Jose, my friend, review your. Did you just? No,
I didn't. No, those are my questions for you. Yeah, I was on the Braves unders there. 7.5 is still live, I guess. Kyle Schwarber home run, please. Giants first 5 full game and a stake bet versus Troy full game, and more importantly, a hot dog bet first 5 against his wife. Shout out to Mrs. Troy Torrance there. Over 9.5 -110 in the Diamondbacks game. Over 7.5 -120 in Yankees or Toronto, I should say. First 5 -0.5 evens. Mets money line. Astros full game under 7 evens. White Sox full game first 5 -132, and Rockies team total over 4.5 +106 there.
I love it. And Justin, Jose has made a graphic. I just we have such a high level with our graphics. We want it to look really good, so we're still just tweaking it. But Jose has worked on it, so I can promise you that we're just
suck my balls, Justin.
Oh no.
He's gonna make fun of my teeth. Hold on, I need to get away.
The yellow picket fence. I love that.
Yeah, don't think I haven't forgotten that. Don't think I haven't forgotten that. I think about it every morning.
And Frank Ritaco making a big move on the Aces -6.5. Thank you for sharing that with us, Frank, my man. Respect.
Shout out to you, Frank.
Respect. Thank you all. Bo Jackson, Frank Ritako, Joe Yurkovich with the $50 dono. Thank you so much. And we had memberships being donated. Justin McKelvey got us started with that. It was just a lot of, it was a great group. I'm sorry about my energy with COVID. It's going to be a rough week, but I tell you what, I'm not missing the show. We're going to go get that cash, and I'll just struggle at times with coughing and things like that. But
and we're all hoping now for a Game 7 Stanley Cup so we can see Jimmy really get put to the paces there, obviously. And also, another shout-out. You know what? Shout out to Phil the Kill thinking that I was in a beer chugging contest. Shout out to you. I appreciate you trying to put that respect on my name. I appreciate that.
He didn't realize it was sweet tea.
He didn't. It's still there.
God.
It's still there, obviously.
Let's get that up here. Here it is for you guys. This is. I think
it's beer, obviously.
Beer. Saturated says, "Do the Panthers close it out tomorrow?"
No.
Saturated, I need more time with it. But I'm close to adding the Oilers for the series because I already have the Panthers game 1 in series, and I just need a little bit more time with it. But I fear the Oilers right now very, very much. Fear the Oilers very, very much. I wish this was beer.
Tea on your mark. Get set, go! And they're off. Jose, it's getting on your shirt. On your birthday shirt. Chug, chug, chug. Jose, you just drenched yourself. I'm going to have to give you a disqualification for that one. Your winner is Amber.
I don't know how you kept your cool.
Well, but this being disqualified, I was furious, obviously. But if I would have jumped, I would have slipped on sweet tea. That would have been even worse. Imagine doing that and then slipping on your sweet tea and falling.
I don't know how you kept your cool when she said you were disqualified. I mean, I would taken all three and myself, and we'd all off the clubhouse.
All into the net.
Yeah.
Go into the net. I should have just left some sweet tea. I should have just dumped it on them, I guess. But shout out to you, Phil.
Saturated. Only 4 teams have ever come back from Game 7 or from down 3-0 in the history of NHL. But I don't believe it's ever been the Stanley Cup final unless it was that first ever time, because no one had done it in forever until the last 3 have happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Do you remember? Years. I don't know. I remember one of them very clearly, and it really fucked me up for a week or two in middle school. Really fucked me up.
The one I remember the most was the Kings coming back in the first round against the Sharks. I believe that was the first time it had happened since the initial time. And I had the Sharks to win the Stanley Cup. They went up 3-0 on the Kings, and I looked like a genius, a huge number. And then the Kings came back, won all 4, and the Kings won the Stanley Cup.
Yep. Oh my God. And the Bruins fucking folding to the Flyers. So fucking annoying.
The Bruins folding the Flyers was wild. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for everything. AOD, Andrew G, D Mills, Justin McKelvey going for 10 straight stacks play today. Bo Jackson having a great start to his day. JT Eel, Saturated, my dude, Jerry Davis, Phil the Kill. What a great group. Thank you guys for all that you do. Ron Crawford, I copied and pasted that, so I'll bring that to everybody's attention here. But to all of you guys, thank you. Anonymous user, LQ, I'm That Heat, Joseph Gomez, DC Capper. Thank you guys. Chess and Gambling Daily. All you guys, thank you so much for all that you do for us. We can't do it without you guys. 1942 Leafs. So that was Stanley Cup final, right? That was the first time it ever happened. As I knew it hadn't happened in, I'll go over the 4 times, so I need to study that. All right, let's go get that cash. Jose, can you please bless our action and leche us into the future? And thank you for all that you do, Jose, my man.
Of course. Thank you, Jimmy, for battling through COVID. We all appreciate you, Jimmy.
Thank you, man.
And all the guys watching in the chat, all the women watching in the chat, shout out to you. Happy Juneteenth to everyone. R.I.P. Willie Mays as well. Appreciate everyone that watches and makes these shows possible. Support in any way you can. Go to the website, become a member. Plenty of merch on there as well. And maybe get your tits drenched with sweet tea today. Maybe that'll make your day better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Leche.